It's happening. Listen, before this episode starts, we just thought we'd make a little clip to let you know that anyone who doesn't know, we now have a Patreon. It is patreon.com/another one podcast. And there's like a few different tiers on there. And we can go and get where you can sign up to us. And it helps us make this podcast. Helps us pay for the podcast. Helps us make it better. Helps us improve and put more content out. We've got big plans for things we want to do. Haven't we? Since
yes, we have. We've got big plans. We have got big plans.
Yes, Rob. Yes.
No, we have got big plans, and without anyone signing to the Patreon, this will die.
Yeah.
This will go away eventually, because if we can't make it work financially, we can't keep doing it, can we?
No, we can't just keep throwing fucking...
No, and we've got Aftermill to buy, and that fucking costs.
We've got kids to pay for. Yeah. Listen, I'll be honest, if I can't provide, I'll leave.
Yeah.
So...
And we already know.
You don't want to make an orphan.
We already know how it's going, don't we? So we needed to be giving us something back.
Yeah, please.
Because we're bleeding here.
Yeah. My kids are begging. My kids begging.
So sign up to the Patreon, patreon.com/another one podcast.
That's it. There's 3 different tiers, loads of different prices.
Pick one.
Help
sign
us.
Up. You won't even notice it going out your bank. It's a couple of quid.
Less than a Tesco meal deal. Oh, well, maybe more than Tesco meal deal.
You'd buy a starving man a meal deal, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I'm starving.
That's what we are.
Look at me.
Look at him.
Do you think that?
Do you think this?
Help.
Another one.
Right. We're on now.
Okay, right. We can't talk about what we were just talking about.
It was a funny enough line to end it on that.
Yeah.
We'll get my laugh in there. We'll clip that into something else.
It's happening.
Hello.
Welcome to... You know what episode we're on?
No. 40?
I don't know.
I can't believe you've done it this long, honestly.
No, nor can I.
Yeah, neither can we.
We had this booked in. I was like, they won't be doing it by then.
Yeah. No, every week now, I think, wow. And then it's like, it's like being in a relationship, innit? And you've gone like, I didn't realise how much of a commitment this was going to be. I thought it was going to be 4 weeks. None of us can be arsed, and it's done. And we tried it, and we failed, and that's it. We moved on with our lives.
Yeah, now it's too big to cancel.
Now it's like,
you got your baby.
Yeah.
Too big to cancel. What an amazing tour title that'll be for you.
It's just, we didn't.
It's just we both accept it's something we've got to do, isn't it?
That's it now. It's just life, innit?
Yeah, it's just something you've got to get on with.
That's toward the podcast. I fucking just got to go and do that now.
Yeah. That's it.
It's nice to be on your chore.
Yeah, well, that's the way it works. That's how it works. It's got an underlying level of resentment between each other and towards you for turning up. So making us do it. So.
Well, thanks for having us on, though. It's
you're going to introduce them?
Oh, sorry.
Well, I'll introduce them. So to my left, both debutantes, by the way. To my left, we've got Hayley Ellis.
Hi.
And then to the right, big on Team Bob, we've got Barry Dodds.
Hayley on Gut Watch, Barry on Team Bob. We had to explain to Hayley what Gut Watch was.
Oh, yeah. Hayley's on Gut Watch.
And you.
She knows that. She just acted dumb to try and be kind.
I was more concerned about the shorts when I see them.
I wore these.
Yeah.
I was really concerned because I keep forgetting that these things get filmed because this is the way that everyone does it now. To me, podcasts were always just about just listening on your headphones, but now it's all about fucking YouTube. People watch it on the tellies. And I always forget, so I'm like, I'm in my trackies, I'm in my slobs.
Oh, don't worry.
I keep forgetting.
I turn up in some fucking states.
He's got flip-flops on, right?
Yeah, fair.
He had a pair of shorts with no gooch, Barry. I mean, if he sat side on, you'd go fair enough, but he sits there directly in front of the camera and he won't get rid of them.
No, they're my favourite shorts.
I said, why can't you just source a similar pair?
Because I can't find them anywhere.
So when you say there's no... So what?
No, there's a gooch in it. The holes are everywhere else. There's a gooch. The crotch is fine. But there's holes up and down everywhere else, and like even on a little bit on the arse.
Just like veins popping out.
It's proper flies eyes.
It's just like there's just like holes everywhere. But I loved them, and I refused to get rid of them. And they're my favourite pair of shorts.
Imagine if you were on like live at the Apollo, what you'd come out. No, like most people, like, I've got a new outfit and that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Just there in your sliders and like.
Oh,
you wouldn't slide it up. If you got the Apollo, you'd give yourself a little polo up to the top.
It'd be a polo and say it wouldn't be a shirt. It'd still be a trainees like.
Have you thought about your Apollo outfit?
Because it's not happening.
Yeah, no, none of us are getting it anyway. So what would you have worn?
A tabard when I'm cleaning it. No, but you do think, have I got a TV job?
Would you have gone casual? Would you have gone like all sparkly? I
wouldn't, because I wouldn't be comfortable.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to wear like big heels and look glamorous or anything, because I'd just be like.
Right. So you'd stick with what you do in the clubs.
You go in jumpsuit.
But
I've
a little
noticed,
bit.
Yeah,
I've noticed a few women do that. Like, we can pick a bit closer if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But I've noticed a few women, like, you can tell the ones you gig with and you're like, they never dress up.
Yeah.
And then it's jumpsuit for the Apollo. It's like, that's the closest you can get to, like, dressing up sort of
I'd
thing.
worry too much, like, if I was wearing... Do you know when you wouldn't feel comfortable?
Yeah.
It's like having you in, like, a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Right.
You wouldn't feel... you wouldn't be, like, comfortable doing your jokes.
Any suit would have done. To be a tuxedo.
I just couldn't imagine you in a tux. Did you wear a tux in a wedding?
No.
Is it tux wedding? No, that's
I
not
wore a
a wedding.
suit. I just wore a suit.
Because I've started wearing.
Oh yeah, I've seen you looking a little bit dapper on stage.
There's a reason
What
behind
happened?
this. I've done a couple of gigs recently where I did one in Sheffield and one in Manchester where I wore a 3-piece suit, like with like nice brown shoes and like a matching brown watch and like. And everyone
What was
like,
the occasion? Was it because you were doubling? You thought, I'll get the wear out of this, or what was it? Just
I've got, I've got a wedding.
Magic circle.
you had a wedding in the
I've got
day.
no, coming up.
Oh right, okay.
Right.
You're wearing the suit in.
Well, just wearing it because then put it. It's an expense.
Oh fucking hell,
So you
Barry.
bought it. You
Phil
bought a
Ellis
suit.
is bad, but
I
it's
know.
another one. And what is it about that?
No, I
seat?
can't have this. I can't have another one.
Oh,
Another
one
tight
photo.
bastard.
Oh my god.
I can't believe that's like me wearing my wedding dress on stage. Get my wear out with.
The wedding's literally this Saturday. Shout out to Vicky and Mark.
Oh my.
sorry,
That's his present.
sorry for going cheap on your wedding.
Oh my.
Why did you just lie? Just lie.
No, it's just so that
He'd cripple him, wouldn't it?
because then if HMRC get in touch, going, what's this
So
receipt
you're at
from?
the anxiety of that.
I can
would cripple
go.
you.
I think you'll find that is stage wear, and then I'll have to ring Colin and go, can you send us a clip from?
What, so you're wearing it like places where there's photographic evidence of you wearing it, like the frog and...
But then
Yeah, in
if,
Sheffield, because Foxy always takes a
That
photo.
is ridiculous.
but then
Yeah.
that's dual purpose, isn't it? So therefore you've worn it at the wedding. Therefore
They won't know he's worn it at the wedding.
They don't know I'm at the wedding. Well,
There's too many cameras at the wedding as well, you know.
different suit, wasn't it, Barry? It's a different suit. This is a slightly different shade of navy, and I've lost it now. I got really drunk and I don't know where it's gone.
How scared are you in the HMRC? That's like...
well,
This man loves to front the HMRC.
I'll be totally.
He actively tries to get investigated.
Trash talk.
That primary, and also it's just that's obviously not primarily the reason. It is. It obviously
You're
has
lying,
come
bastard,
into the
it
head,
is.
but it is that thing of like wearing it in, because I think you've got to wear in clothes. You know, like shoes.
Shoes, yes.
You don't go and
A
spend
suit.
a full day. Oh no, and this, I'm a very weird shape, right? I'm like a frog. Right, in that it's all like bulk, and then just a couple of little.
arms.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you big body, short legs.
Yeah, big body and then short legs. So it's very hard to judge how something is going to be.
You need
when
to go and do a couple of gigs.
So go
innit?
and do a couple of. You might as well. It's either that or wear it around
So
Lidl.
is this so you? I just don't understand why doing 2 gigs in a night would be.
Oh, no, you added that.
What?
No, he's... Oh, yeah, I did it.
You added
yeah.
the double. No.
I wasn't a
well, they're
double.
doing it, but like they're going like. I thought you were going to use it because you got 2 gigs, get the wear out of the suits, get fully 2 photos in the same night. There you go. I've done 2 gigs in it. It's clearly a suit for the stage.
I've got 2 weddings coming up.
Oh God!
I also wouldn't like want to wear a suit that I'd worn in the Frog and Bucket Green Room eating chicken wings or whatever it is, and then
Yeah.
To
you know
a
what I mean?
wedding.
Do you know? I don't know. It's taken away this specialness.
Yeah, like you've already worn it then.
You'd feel like a fraud.
It's not me getting married. I'm just getting dragged along to the thing. I'm not even staying for the meal. Oh, sorry, Vicky. I forgot to tell
When
her
is
that.
the wedding?
Saturday.
Oh, you're sound.
He's
sat
got to
in the
get off
wedding,
to a
not
gig,
gig?
but he'll be wearing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
suit.
yeah.
No. I've got a gig on the night, so I'm going to go and watch the I Do's, and then I'm
I was
off.
joking.
Are you going to go in your suit?
I hate that, you know.
Yeah. Are you going to be a suit comic now?
No.
No. Oh. How did the gigs go? Same as they would have done, or did you feel any different?
Well, the first suit that I wore was like a red burgundy one, and I thought I looked quite.
Is this on stage?
I wore it on stage. 3-piece burgundy.
Is this the
suit.
first
You wore
time?
all 3 pieces on stage as well.
Yeah. I went for the full lot. Yeah.
You
Tie.
just
Tie. Yeah.
leaving nothing to chance, was Barry.
Do you know how I got introduced on the stage? Because I thought I looked quite dapper. I got introduced as, please welcome the most confident coach driver in Sheffield, Barry Dodds.
Who was that?
Foxy on the sound in Sheffield.
Oh, not even by another comic. You
No.
got done by the sound, man.
Yeah.
So did you feel any different on stage in the suit?
I think there's a bit of a different reaction from the audience because they go a bit more
like a bit sit up, respect you a bit more.
Yeah. It's a bit more. Whereas if you go on just like this,
just lovingly.
But it's better like this because you want an audience to be a bit rough and tumble if you're going to be fucking about, you know.
Yeah, I don't want them to go on stage and respect me straight away. You want to earn it.
But it's like other comics that judge you more if you because you're not used to wearing a suit. Because I remember I did a gig with a suit and they were like, "Oh, you look smart," and they're like,
"Yeah, that whole yeah."
When you're in the office and you turn up, and
it's like that with this. I've still got.
When was he first got his leather jacket?
5 more years. I've got to stick with this before people let me get away with it. 5 more years. I've got to do this. And then my ecru keks, but they're fine then. They're golden.
I'll try and wearing salmon shorts.
See, I haven't give you any shit for wearing salmon.
Well, because I can pull it off. You didn't look comfortable in your ecru keks.
I looked plenty comfortable.
We got lots of DMs. We got Patreon last week.
I got a DM from the lad who went, on the Patreon last week. To be fair.
He wore ecru keks, and let's just say...
Ecru keks, no regrets.
The people did not take kindly to them. They've forgiven his white socks over the past 6 months.
What did I say, though? Don't sleep on me, you'll catch up.
We'll see.
You'll catch up.
We'll see. But I thought a bit of solidarity. I'll come on me salmon shorts today, so... Just so people know that Bobby's got a few left field things in his closet.
A few colours. A few coloured items. Have you got any garish items of clothing?
Oh, fucking loads.
Have you?
Converse he's wearing now.
These are all right.
They're not Converse, they're Vans.
They look like Lidl's version of Vans.
No, they're not proper Vans.
Okay.
I got a lot of shit from somebody who's quite familiar with this building and tends to be a bit particular about his shoes. Yeah, I got because I used to wear. They were bright green. They were sort of canvas, but they were Lonsdale. So I had green canvas Lonsdales, and
they were unacceptable.
Every time I saw it, it was just like looked at me shoes before me. Like, all right, it's like, and he already doesn't respect me. I don't want to give him another reason. So
you should have worn them with your suit. Yeah. What about now?
I'm not introducing him on. I'm not introducing him on. I refuse. I'm not going to say his name. I'm just going to walk off. Here's your next act and go the other way.
Have you ever got on stage in a suit?
No, obviously not.
No.
I barely go to weddings in a suit.
Yeah.
Have you ever done corporate?
Yeah. No.
I've done gigs that are similar to corporates, but not what I would say are corporates.
I've been missold a corporate a couple of times.
Yeah.
I did a private party.
Yeah, there should be some sort of claim form for a comic. And have you been missold a corporate bugger?
I did one. Well, because when I first started in comedy, I moved down to Manchester with all the Newcastle and Gateshead lads, and we quickly got an agent called Hazel, who was great. But then she jacked it in, and I was like in a panic. I was like, shit, am I not working in comedy anymore? And Jeff Whiting from Mirth Control just went, I want to sign you. And I was like, thank God for that. So I would say yes to anything. Because I still am grateful, but I was constantly grateful of any gig that I was given. And I did 2 corporates, one of which I walked out of.
That's not like you. I imagine it's got to be pretty bad for
2 minutes before I went on.
Before you'd even gone on?
Yeah. I used to have this bit of material about... I was quite new.
How long were you at the venue for before you decided that's like
a good hour?
So you had an hour there, and then the 2 minutes before you went on?
Met the table, the football team, the partners.
I can imagine your anxiety. Your anxiety's bad enough as it is.
Well...
For that hour before... Oh, my God.
The fact you lasted up to the last second, and then you just jumped.
Well, something happened because...
Here we go.
Because I was very sort of new.
Me too.
No, I didn't know how to sort of compare. Because you looked at them and you think, were
you the only comic?
Only person on, yeah.
Doing how long?
I think it was meant to be half an hour, and I think I talked them down to 25.
And then you didn't do any?
and yeah, I just didn't have any skills. I just had my set that I did regardless, and I used to have some quite dark stuff, and I had this one routine about there was a documentary about assisted suicide in Switzerland, and I used to have this long routine about it, and because I used to say that they called
was the corporate?
It was for a football team.
Right,
it was for a football team. But the documentary was called A Man's Right to Die, and I said I wouldn't have called it that. I'd have called it One Single and a Return, Please. Right, that was the thing, and then a lot more jokes about that. So I'm there. I'm already, the anxiety's through the roof. I'm terrified. Before I come on, the chairman, whatever you call him, of the football team, he got up in front of everyone. This is honestly what he said. He got up on the stage with this shitty Tandy mic, and he said, right, we're going to have the comedian on in a second. Don't worry, I've been assured that he's better than last year. And they all were like, I'm shit. So straight away, I'm thinking, fucking hell,
Who was it?
I've no idea. Who was this fallen soldier? Who I've not...
Phil Ellis.
I only stacked chairs for half an hour.
And then...
It's the janitor we had on last year. Time to fucking climb off.
Wore his leather jacket to get a refund of HMRC.
Yeah.
And then he said just before that...
Two tightest bastards on the coast.
I'm not tight. I've just spunk 40 quid on fuel coming in.
Sorry, Barry, sorry.
Fuck, I'm still reeling from a similar
He's already said that's when you claim it back. It's on film now.
That is 40 quid fuel. Yeah.
£6 with a
28p for the first 10,000, Barry.
Did you get a receipt for that, by the way?
Have you had to pay a toll or anything?
No. Okay. I took on the toll roads. I had to try and manually delete them from my sat nav. I do use the old school sat nav as well, the stucky to the window one.
Fuck off.
Because the phone uses your data. I'm like, fucking not paying for that.
You've got like a TomTom?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I've got a sticky to the window.
Why don't you download it before you leave
onto the phone?
Yeah, you can download.
But I want it live. It's
not. That's not a big eater.
Your TomTom isn't live anymore.
Yeah, it is. This doesn't even exist.
No, like Hayley said, you're driving over water, like Grand Theft Auto when you're driving to the sea. Yeah?
He's driving over.
I should. Yeah, is he?
The wall.
Yeah, when you glitch out the map.
Barry's going over the new Runcorn Bridge, thinking, "Oh my God, I'm on water."
So I was at this gig, and. So he said that about the car, fucking shit, and I'm just thinking, fucking hell, what did they do to him? You know, how bad was it, and all that. And he said, and he just said, anyway, we're all here together for the first time in ages. And then he said, obviously, a couple of people who can't be here. And then he went, and then he mentioned two people. He said this person and his wife, and he said, now as we all know, it was very hard for her, and motor neurons. We are raising money for the charity in their name and for the family. And that was the thing in the documentary. And I'm thinking...
locked in syndrome.
So I was just like, that's fucking 7 minutes.
When you were very new, I was going to say you were new as well, so you haven't got anything else.
I didn't have anything else.
That 25 has gone down to 18.
Exactly. And it was like, what do I do?
You go up there and you do that joke and you really lean into it.
I looked at the room. And I turned and I got in a lift, fucking pressed the button, back up, out into Manchester.
I can imagine you just running out.
Did you get any, about Jeff? Did Jeff?
I turned my phone off. I went to a house party.
To save data.
Didn't want to lose the minutes talking to Jeff, trying to explain why
the real reason there was no Wi-Fi. Oh, no.
I went to a house party.
It was free entry.
Yeah.
Bought 6 cans of Carlsberg and drank Peroni all night.
Didn't even drink. Someone gave us 2 pills. I was like, this will save.
2 free pills. The paracetamol likely didn't care.
And woke up at 3 o'clock the next afternoon on the settee of that person's house. And they went, are you all right? Your phone's been going mental, because I plugged it in to charge it so it automatically turned itself on. Like, your phone's been ringing all day. And I looked and there's like 27 missed calls off Jeff Whiting.
I need that £30.
I want the commission, Barry, still.
And apparently they were just furious at the football dude.
Well, it would have been worse if you would have done it, I think.
Yeah, either way, you're going to be furious.
But they wanted to just, whether you were shit or not, they wanted someone to just go and entertain them, either die or be...
I figured, because I was so new, and I don't do jokes, I don't do anything like that now, because I realise these things do have an effect, and plus my level of anxiety wouldn't let me do it. But I just thought, this is the best thing for everyone involved. Because if I go up and do this, they ain't going to be happy.
Apart from the comedian that went on before you last time, his name will be back top of the list for next year. Get that Phil Ellis back.
He wasn't too bad. Maybe you'll get them photos developed and send us them.
So,
Yeah, it was awful. And I've never done one since. Or applied for one. No.
Have you ever not gone on, either of you, where you've gone, no, I'm not going on, it's not a gig?
No, I've never. No, because I want to get paid. So I think I've been. Oh yeah, there was. Well, it wasn't.
There's
really
times where I've gone, give me my money before I go on stage, because
Yeah.
I knew where it was going to go, but they've never not gone on.
There was one thing. You remember Frankie used to go to Seal Street?
Yeah.
So he tried to put on this like event and wanted some people to come do stand up at like this thing in like Anfield, and it's like a Saturday afternoon, and like. Some said they were doing it, but then Binty messaged me see if I would do it. So me and Binty turned up at this like sort of centre for like, and it was like me and Binty just stood there on the Saturday afternoon in Anfield, just like, Frankie, nah, this isn't.
Well, the match was on.
No.
Not in the middle of Anfield.
I mean,
Anfield's a place as well. You know that, don't you?
Go and do 5.
Yeah. No, by the burger van.
No, Mike, you just got to stand there.
You like fast food.
But
Who you likes red?
But so that wasn't like we weren't going on, because there wasn't even a gig set up.
Yeah.
It was like he'd just gone, he wants us to do stand up, and then he'd give it no thought at all to it.
Yeah. Well,
and me and Binty were like,
why did you not think that was what it was going to be?
Because Binty asked me to do it. So I was like, Binty will
to
know what he's doing.
He's a disabled lad. He had like cerebral palsy.
You used to go to the Sundays, didn't you?
I think he had some like learning difficulties as well. He always come with his carer. He just like coming to the Sundays and watching comedy. So I don't know why you'd think he was going to put on this amazing.
Well, it wasn't. It was just because if Binty asked me to
comedy.
do it, I thought Binty would have at least gone, and he would have known a bit about it.
That was Binty during his act phase when he was trying to be an actor, isn't he?
It's probably. I think they were in. Were they in Seal Street then? I don't know.
Yeah.
Might have been the Holiday Inn, to be honest with you.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, so that was it. But then, in terms of an actual gig where I've just looked at it and gone, "This is terrible." No.
Why you must have done if you?
No. But I think there've been like ones with you where all the acts have gone, do you know what? This isn't a gig. We're not doing it. Not like as in
right.
I bottled it. It's been times where I thought I don't want to go on. Like I did one and it was like a charity thing, and I was like skint at the time as well. I was like, oh, fuck. You know, when you like drive all that way there and then it was like they were just all eating the dinner and they didn't know there was like comedy on.
Oh.
And then the mic said
the best kind.
No, like you could hear them all like,
yeah,
like where I was interrupting their burger.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and I wish I would have said no. I'm not,
Did you go and do it?
Yeah, and I honestly still feel sick when I think.
Did
about
every act do it on the bill?
It was only me as a comic. There was like a.
Why did you agree to do it in the first place?
Because it was a mate. I won't name.
I say no to charity gigs.
This is the thing I always.
I've never. I say no to every charity gig I've ever asked. Just don't do charity gigs. I do enough for charity outside of comedy. That's what I say to people.
When you say that, do you mean like if they said we'll give you 200 or whatever a fee to go and do it?
No, I won't.
But it's a charity gig.
So if your mate said, "Listen, I need some help with this,"
my mates have asked me and I've said no. No.
It's got an hour of gold, that one.
I don't give a fuck what the gig's for. If I'm getting paid to do it, I'll go and do it.
No, don't do charity gigs.
I've said.
The people are there for a good reason and they don't need me to ruin it.
Yeah, but I'm not bothered about ruining anything.
Go and do a charity gig for Roy Castle and when you'll come off stage they're going, I hope that cunt gets cancer, you know. I hope. I know we're trying to cure it, but I hope that cunt gets it.
Well, we're all rooting for the same thing.
I always end up doing loads like that and then like just because they're just trying to be nice and then I end up like doing like people like despising me because I'm on the stage as they're trying to eat the.
So what? So you went on. So there was you as a comic.
I could hear people's knives and forks on the plate.
Did you have to compare yourself on, or did what happened?
There was like someone before me. It was like a musician, which is fine because they can just play and people listen and just eat the.
They're not asked. They get ignored.
Busking, isn't it?
They're used to getting ignored, so it's fine.
And then who else was on? Something else where it was. I think it was a poet.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, even
I mean
then,
that's terrible.
The thing is with a musician and a poet, it doesn't require that much engagement. It's just
poetry's a bit tragic.
People don't respect poetry, and people don't need to pay attention to music and just be on the background.
Yeah, so what? Listen to it, When then I'm like, hey.
But reading poetry is still almost
people
weirder.
Don't respect poetry. So like I think if you're a poet, you expect to be ignored, or at least you should expect to be ignored.
Yeah, and I think people would respectfully, like you don't meet many people who go, that poet's shit. You know what I mean?
Pros and cons.
When's a real poet coming out?
Yeah.
Tell us a
Where's the
poem we'll
poetry
know.
start?
But surely,
What's a
if I was in a restaurant or a pub eating, and then somebody was stood there with a notepad reading words like they were a poet, I'd go, "What on earth are they doing?" Like, I wouldn't get what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think, what are they doing? Are they testing something?
Because they were just talking constantly. And it's like, you're meant to be getting laughs. At least poets, they're not meant to be getting meant to be getting emotion, maybe.
That's bizarre.
And I'm just talking, and then I can actually hear people fucking chewing. And like, and then I tried to speak to people, and they're like, "You interrupted me, mate."
Yeah. Do you mind? I've got my mouth full.
Yeah. So everyone's just assuming, is that all right?
Everyone's assuming you're away. Have you not like with your table? Yeah.
It was like that. And it's just like,
You went to this charity gig before? Yeah, cheers. I'll take that away.
and I think I got a parking ticket as well as I left, and I was like,
Oh my God. Was it cash?
a charity.
Oh, you got no fee?
No, I think I got like
Whew.
for free.
I'd rather wear a pair of green canvas Lonsdales to a wedding. You didn't do it for a fee at all?
It was like £10 fuel or something like that.
And then you got a parking ticket?
Yeah, and it cost me more fuel than that doing it. And it was for a mate, and I felt bad because I rung up.
How long did you do?
I did. I think I did my time.
Did you?
I think, yeah.
What was that,
Oh,
20?
silly.
Well, it was meant to do 20. I think I did 50. Oh, it was awful. Do you only think back and think, imagine if anyone sees you, go, I remember seeing you there.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
yeah.
oh.
It's like when you first start, you think, when I first started, loads of people came to see me that I knew, and I just spend the years now going, they're never going to see it. Like, the only memory they have of me in comedy is, he was shit. And we were
Yeah,
like,
do you know what?
I'd done 3 gigs, you cunt. Like,
I was savvy enough to never invite anyone. Still don't.
you had no one to invite, that's right.
No, I could. People wanted to see me be shit, but I just thought, I'm not telling it. No one knew I even did it for 2 years.
I invited 2 people on what I think was about my 10th gig, and I'd only ever done like these little gigs, and I had some friends staying, and honestly, every now and again when I think of them, it creeps in my head going, they saw that.
Yeah.
And it
you can't look them straight in the face.
And it's the worst thing is it's never been mentioned since.
Oh, it's like
and so when I put
in the room.
when I've put stuff up that they might see, I'm always just like, look, it got better. It got better. You just saw it, but and I've never brought it up with them. So Gila, Chris, I'm so sorry I put you through that. If you're listening, and I know how bad it was, I didn't even come out the dressing room and say bye to them.
Right.
They probably already left.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hayley.
You've done the best thing for everyone involved, don't worry.
I've got to fill them out now, though.
It was.
Well, it's nice you stopped doing comedy and now you're doing your acting.
How's the ghost hunting going?
Yeah, no, I never invited that. I never understood it. And I just couldn't. Even if they came and it went well, I just think, no. I don't want to make them laugh because that's not what this is. If I'm going to do this, I'm making strangers laugh. That's where to get good at it is. So what's the point in even making your friends laugh? If it goes well. Yeah. And they clearly just want to see you be shit anyway. Yeah. That's just, there's no friend that would ever go, oh, I want him to do well. Why would you? Why would you want a friend who thinks that the fucking front of him thinking he can do comedy? Absolutely fuck him. Like, if he can do it, I could do it better than him. That sort of thing. That attitude. I think not real friends.
My dad still thinks that.
My mum's only ever seen me once in like 20 years.
On stage.
Yeah. Quite right. It was, and I
think this one's going to be wearing Lonsdales. He'll be in his wedding suit on stage.
The tight bastard, like his dad.
If I give him to someone else, they can look after him and pay for it all.
I'll just turn up when he's done the stand.
Jeff White and took you in. What? Bollocks!
I walked out on a gig. I refused to go on at one once.
I know your mum's seen you once on stage.
When I was supporting Dave Johns at his homecoming gig at the Tyne Theatre in Newcastle.
So you were quite well. So you were.
So
good
this
then?
is only a few years ago.
Did she know you were supporting Dave Johns, or she just gone to see him and you were on?
Oh no, it's my mum's favourite theatre.
Shite.
There's a warm act. So we go see what? Nah, I just got to stay in the bar.
Shoes and a wetsuit. Who wears that?
My dad come to see me once and stayed in the bar.
Really?
in Seal Street when he had the bar outside the room, he literally stayed in the bar. Told me he never.
Maybe
but
he was too
spoke,
anxious.
I spoke to the bar people.
Maybe he was thinking.
Doesn't like he's a knobhead, me dad. He's just these, you know what, these men, stubborn, toxic men. That's me dad. So he doesn't like sitting down when he's drinking. So he'd been on the ale all day.
That is such a
and then his mates wants to come and see me. So his mates came into the room to sit down and watch me. And my dad just stayed in the bar standing up drinking because he didn't want to sit down for 20
But maybe
minutes.
he didn't want to go and be there and watch his son be shit in front of all of his mates. I think I can't do it. I can't put myself through that 20 minutes.
It's too much of a gamble.
Someone in my family
I'm
can't
on a
watch
professional
Everton.
weekend at the best club in the country.
Yeah, but
you'd assume I must be all right.
not guaranteed.
It's not.
I'm a Scouser in Liverpool. It's not more guaranteed.
It's not.
I swore on and shout Tocky and get a laugh.
There's a guy in my family who the doctor said you can't watch Everton anymore because of his heart. He can't watch it. He has to watch a replay of it.
Well, that's more
later
reflection on Everton.
So what's your dad's not seeing you because in case you're Everton?
No, he's not allowed. He's not allowed. No one's allowed to come and see me live. If they breach that rule, they know it's over.
I love watching you live. You are proper one of my favourite comics to watch. I remember being sat with you at the side of the Glee in Nottingham, and I was absolutely howling.
I was dying on his arse though.
No, it's whenever he said anything controversial, you're like.
Honestly, I love
when
it.
When the guy walked out.
Well, that was the next night. That was where I was like, oh, I didn't think it could get better. And then that guy stood up and called you a dickhead. And I was like, oh, I was like, I fucking knew it'd kick off. I knew it just needed the right audience for this to go.
I knew you could get someone to kick off on him. Get in.
Oh, and it was beautiful. And they took their time putting their coats on and getting out as well.
Yes,
yeah. It was,
lovely.
Like a joke, but it's
that's
not.
No, it happens to all the time.
That's what you want from a live act.
Every person who likes this pod, who's seeing Wazzy, mentions watching him die. It's someone sent us a really lovely.
At Earl Shilton the other day. Earl Shilton Con Club. Somebody wanted to knock me out.
Really?
Made a joke about priests being paedophiles, and that was just, they said it's too far. And then they advertised the gig again, and they said you can't say the C word and you can't joke about paedophilia at this gig.
Like I haven't got.
Because I was on at Earl Shilton, ready for me Chris Rock moment from the pedo ring of Earl Shilton.
Imagine if you know what you did get knocked out and no one filmed it. You're pointless on it. Like,
that's what you need.
I haven't got that worry because
the same impact.
You need a slap now. That's the new one, isn't it? Well, Jim Jeffries, that's what launched him.
Do you remember Brennan getting pinned down?
I saw that video,
Yeah, Brennan got pinned down.
That was a weird one, though, wasn't it? 'Cause it was like a slow-mo sort of dragged him down and choked him or something.
Didn't when it happened, I'm trying to remember the video, didn't Brennan look cunt when he was doing it though? So it never went viral because while he was like, yeah, I'd probably choke him out as well.
It was because it was so slow.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, it was like a bit sexual.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was like the guy was like, and Brennan's like, oh, like thinking he's joking.
Isn't he going, he's choking me?
He's
choking me?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a...
I did a gig once. This is the one I refused to go on at, where...
So you didn't do a gig once? I did. Well, technically I went on for a minute before it was just abandoned. It was this gig. It was a private gig, and it was 500 quid in this private. It was in cash. Before upfront, like yeah.
And it was in a flat roof pub in Grays in Essex.
Right.
And
low ceiling, flat roof.
I think it was. Pub? Do you not know a flat roof pub? It's
very rough, like on the estate.
It's like in an estate, like the
country club, like conservative club sort of thing with it all.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's they usually like
probably cricket club by yours.
Cricket clubs, but
right. Okay. I can get it.
Some of them are really, really rough, and this was in
ones that are in actual estates tend to be rough.
Right. Shameless sort of in
that. The ones where they're not putting slate on the roofs for a reason.
Right. Okay.
And we got like Hazel. This is me. She said, "Oh, it's a christening do. It's the guy who owns this pub. He's having to do wetting the baby's head. So they're having the christening during the day and the comedy on the night time." And I was like, 500 quid. And she went, "Yeah, but he said that's the budget. There can be two of you." So I lived with Danny Deegan at the time.
Right.
So I said,
"I'll got 100 quid, Danny."
Danny's like so deadpan as well for a christening, like
yeah. So I said, let's split it. And the closer it got to the day, it was like, oh, this doesn't feel right. So we said, well, look, let's take 50 quid out of each our money and get a compare. Right. So we got Tim Craven. We said, do you fancy a game? We'll drive you and everything. It's 100 quid.
Throwing him to the wolves.
He was like,
you've got to be there all night.
You're actually doing a blessing.
We got
poor old Tim Craven. Where's he now? It's the landlord of that pub. He never got out.
We got there and straight away the bloke, he was a proper geezer. He was like, all right, lads, listen, yeah, comedy's gone around a little bit late because, you know, we need to get some of the regulars out. Like, and it was basic. Yeah, get them out. So he said,
how rough this place is. We get rid of these fucking animals before we let you go on.
He said there's a room upstairs so you can use it as a dressing room. And we went up and it was what was once. It looks like a fucking bedroom where somebody had been like tortured in some snuff film, right?
Oh my God.
So it's just this bed frame. And there was a TV on the wall because I can remember watching. It was a Robbie Williams concert that was playing on the TV randomly. So I just all sat on the floor, in the dark, because there was no electric in the room.
You and Danny were like, it's lovely here, it's nice.
Well, the guy,
I expect such a nice thing.
the guy came up and he went, all right, boy, do you need anything? Do you need anything? And we were like, no. And he went, drink. And we were like, no, we're all right, thanks. And he was like, bit of Coke? And we were like, no, we're all right. He went, couple of girls? And we just went, no, we're all right, thanks. and it was like...
What kind of girls?
Tim Craven can't believe his luck.
50 quid, okay.
And it just became more and more obvious that we were the fucking bad boys of this estate. So it got to 11:30 and it hadn't started. And
What time did you get there?
About 8.
So you've been sat in that room for 3 hours.
3.5 hours.
Just sat in this room.
Terrified.
Watching a 12-minute rendition of Angels.
We're just sat and it's on, and Tim's starting to get a bit twitchy, even though he's quite relaxed. I've been climbing the walls for 2 hours.
Did none of you think of like 9 to go down and go, what's going on?
Oh, anytime we mentioned it, he just went, yeah, we're going to give him half an hour more before we close. Because we had a separate room, this function room. And eventually he came down and there was just like, there wasn't even a mic stand, and it was literally 4 beer crates with just like a fucking plank across it as the stage. No seats. No, anywhere, just people walking around.
That's a challenge on TikTok now as well, isn't it? The crate challenge where you got to like...
Oh, you got to climb up them, yeah.
Is it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've seen people like dying doing that, aren't they?
Oh, we got close.
So what happened? So you go down.
So we went out. Everyone's milling around. Tim went on and tried making a gig out. Everyone was fucked. Everyone in this pub. And
she's got in the gear and then 3.5 hours and need to be on the same level as them.
Well, because we checked the money as well when we were in the room upstairs, and he paid us in £50 notes. So it's 10 £50 notes, which is always a bit sketchy. And I swear to God, this is true. If you got the note and you held it out in your hand, it went pfft and went back up into a roll. Right, they'd all been used. Tim went on. Tried making a gig of it. It's just not a gig. There's fucking people all over the place.
Live comedy before?
He did about 3 minutes and then was just like...
If you're snorting?
Is it shit if you've used our feet to snort your beak with? You've got 10 scrolls here.
Scrolls.
He abandoned it. He was like, right, here's your first act. I'm like, fucking 100 quid.
How long did he do?
3 minutes.
Right.
3 minutes.
Go on, Barry, you threw him under the bus here.
So
you could have got 150 each or something.
Barry said to the Damien Larkin, actually, you're only 12 minutes there, I think.
Wear and tear on the mic.
I think you'll find, Tim, you're under 3 minutes, so you'll have £20. Cut a bit of 50 off. So what happens? So Tim does 3 minutes.
So he does about 3 minutes, gets me on. I get up and I'm like, all right, there's this documentary right about this couple go to Switzerland and everyone is just fucking all that. And I was just like, nah, fuck this. After about 4 minutes,
you tapped out.
Yeah, I tapped out, and I walked.
Tim goes.
And
back
I just looked at Tim and just went, don't go on. It's just carnage in the room. And the landlord just went,
what you think?
He went, oh, lads, look, sorry, it's fucking carnage. Everyone's boosted up.
That's
Everyone's
nice.
on the sniff. Just get yourself away. Danny Deegan went, no, I've been booked to perform.
Deegan.
Deegan, fuck
How
off.
long have you been going at this point?
about 10 years.
Oh,
not
hell.
even that. No, not even that. Somewhere between 5 and 7.
After 5, though, Deegan should be going great.
Yeah.
No, Deegan's like that now, though.
Yeah, you do it now, and you went, no, we're doing the gig, so.
Oh my God!
There's no way, Danny. You're doing the gig. I'm getting off.
So we were up in this room again, and the landlord went, and Danny went, no, I'm going to perform. So we went, all right, well, do you want to go downstairs then? I'm looking at Tim like, you're getting up to do the second bit. Tim's like, fuck that. Right. So we're like, well, all right, Deegan, if you're doing it on your own. So he went up and got on stage, and he thought,
rips it.
He thought the way to do this is to stamp down my authority. So he went on and got the mic and just went, right, you cunts. I've driven from Manchester, and he's talking away, and some bloke walked up to the stage, just out of his pocket. He just pulled up a knife and just held it towards Danny. And when I'm watching this, at this point, I've went and stood next to a fire exit, thinking I'm bolting, like I'm getting out of here. And Danny just went, I'm from Manchester. Do you think I've never seen a knife before?
Fucking hell,
and I was like, oh no. And then this girl came over to him.
What was wrong with him?
She had a drink of like whatever she had, and she went and just spat it all over him. And I was like, Deegan, fucking, because he's driving. Yeah.
So that's why he's all stayed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. There's no solidarity. Yeah. I'm like, get us.
Why are you still
if
there?
he doesn't get killed,
and he just
we'll get a taxi.
He just stood there and just took it and just started doing its material, started
so after
bantering.
She spat drink over it, he just went right.
He
anyway,
he
just walking down the street the other day.
The knife and the
funny
drink.
thing happened to me on the way here.
And the spit.
Someone spat at me on the way to the stage.
He just fronted them both out, and he went right. So who's he? And he carried on, and then slowly, people stopped talking, started watching him. He started having a good gig. And
that's when I'd have got off. I'd have been FEMA more than anything else. That's when I'd have gone, fuck off, I'm walking home.
He did 20 minutes and left to applause.
Oh.
It was...
Okay.
And now he's part of a gang.
We stopped at a petrol station, and we all spent the £50 notes in that petrol station. We're like paying for like a pack of chewing gum with 50 quid just to get some real...
to call the manager over to check the 50s as well.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
It was insane.
How old was he at the time?
Oh, you'd probably...
Don't try and understand it. You're asking questions
Later,
to try and understand
next time
it. You will never understand that decision.
No.
Exactly. Don't try and like,
ask him about it.
Do you understand why he did that?
No.
Exactly.
Do you?
No, of course not. You've been told, here's your money, just go, lads.
If you asked him, you know what he'd say? He'd go, because I'm not a pussy. That's what he'd say.
You are a pussy for doing your little fucking bootlicker. You're a fucking scab. Everyone had a night off and you've made them stay an extra hour, you fucking scab.
I think it was the next night we did a gig it was worlds apart. We're in this really posh restaurant gig.
I'm not cut out for this, boys. I can't do that.
I'm from Manchester. I've never seen a fillet before.
We were upstairs.
What's a steak
now?
It was this really proper posh gaff downstairs, and upstairs was where they held the comedy, and it was really posh, and he was comparing.
Someone gurgling wine instead of spitting it.
Oh, yeah. They had a bucket for it. And there was some spiral stairs went down right into the middle of the posh restaurant, and one bloke got up to go to the toilet, so he had to go down the spiral stairs. So Danny was like, look, if you go to the toilet, just go to the toilet. Just go on, just go. The guy was like, oh, I'm really sorry, everyone. So he opened the door and went down the stairs into the middle of this full packed restaurant, and Danny turned the speaker to where he was going down and went, and don't come back, you fucking paedophile, and then slammed the door. And this bloke stood in this restaurant like, oh.
What the fuck?
It was a proper laugh back in the day. But
doesn't sound it.
Yeah,
I don't want to do any of those
it sounded
things.
traumatic. That to be honest.
The
only thing I liked about that is you could have had 500 quid and not have to do any comedy.
I know.
You could have done 3 minutes of comedy. You got the nod off the landlord to go.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have gone on, would you? If you would have seen that and you were on your own, would you have gone on at that pub gig?
I wouldn't have even gone in the building. It was one of those ones you look at.
Mine and Freddie's one at the Sawmill felt like a similar vibe to that one where the guy's a geezer and all this, and there's people you feel like this could go off at any minute. Do you know what I mean? Like I've spoke about it on the podcast before, but we did this gig and we turned up and it was just he refused to charge an entry fee for this gig because he just wanted to
seen
be
the
free.
lineup and he was like,
I'm making anyone pay for that.
Yeah.
Freddie Salmon wasn't. Fuck off.
Yeah, I know it'd make a better gig if there's paid, but you lot are shit. So I just can't have them.
I've got to show my face around here tomorrow. You can drive home after this.
So the gig was meant to be upstairs, and then some old man snapped his leg on the stairs, so the gig got postponed for another 40 minutes whilst the ambulance came to sort it out.
over him.
Yeah, mate, it was just the best bit was at the end. I've said this was when Vince Atta was on and doing his.
I understand now.
People at the back were just twerking. They just weren't listening. Just these young girls twerking. These other lads just chatting and
These
everything.
jokey raps and they're dancing to them.
But the best part was the fact that the Canadian guy, I can't remember, Nick Martinello, it was his first time coming to the UK. He'd just come off the plane from Canada and he messaged Freddie on the way to the gig and he went, "Boy, someplace this." And he got off the train. There was some fellas got out of cars and had a scrap. He walked round the corner. There was two lads in balaclavas on quad bikes. And he gets to this gig. It had been like the Gold Cup in Doncaster or this local derby as well. So it was just, everyone was bladded. The whole pub was covered in Georgia's flags and it was made of MDMF. On the Facebook afterwards, someone had on a stick a thong covered in shit saying, "Who the fuck put this down the ladies' toilet?" Mate, it was horrific. Just the guy who was in charge of keeping the things peaceful in the gig was called Mad Dog. who wouldn't shut the fuck up. He'd just be chatting away when you're on stage and be like, I'm like, "Mad Dog, I know you're here."
Listen, Maddie, come on.
Yeah, they were. That was a gig that's really sticks out of my time as the one gig that's gone. This is looking.
That's the thing. I love bad gig stories.
Yeah, stories, like being in them now.
But now there's part of us where it's like, oh, this will be like, I can't wait to,
But having a bad gig or being a bad gig, do you know what I mean?
Oh, having a bad gig.
Having a bad gig at like a nice club is like good as well because that's a different level of misery. That's all internal misery. But the bad gig, it's like, this is just terrifying. Yeah. Like I'm meant to try and speak to these people, make them laugh, and they're just like, they look like they're twisted. Thinking this is what the fuck are we gonna do?
Yeah,
that's the one that sticks out for me.
I hate when you see like a really mental gig and like somebody will put it online and go like tonight's office, and you'll see it and there's fucking people pissed, there's someone on fire, there's a dog, and it's just like
tonight's
I can't wait for that. And then you hear nothing for the rest of the night. And you're like, come on, update, status.
I've never actually thought of that. And you do see the beginning of the show, this ropey looking con club, and then nothing for the rest of it.
And then you see them, you go, how was that gig with? And they went, oh yeah, it was all right.
Was that when the Longley put up and they were all fighting? That was New Year's
That was
Eve,
Birmingham
wasn't it?
There was Birmingham where they had a scrap. And
that was Birmingham. No,
Yeah,
he died on his arse hating live and filmed it, didn't he? Filmed himself.
He didn't even get on.
Telling the audience, "I fucking hate you. I hope you all die on your way home."
Yeah.
That was a
the one in Birmingham. He didn't even get on stage.
No.
So was it Matt Rich? I think Matt Ritchie was the one they were all fighting during as well.
During.
Yeah. Oh no, it was Andrew Bird.
It was Andrew Bird.
Yeah.
Oh,
Richard must have emceed it.
I think it was the following year the Matt Richardson
right.
incident. It's got a bit of a rep.
Yeah. I first time I ever done that gig was when Jonglers / Highlight had it, and I was doing middle spot, like but the open spot sort of thing, and there was a London act before me, and he was like, I gave them a couple of times before. They're posh, they're middle class. But he was doing loads of things like the London, like the way Mac called itself, the London look. And he was doing loads of, Mac say this about the London look, and he builds up to this big crescendo of like where there's going to be this big finish, and he turns and looks at the audience, and not one of them laughed, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll move on." And then he moved on and started talking about the Lidl. And started trying to slate the Lidl, but doing it in a bad way. And all them had gone, right, we've had enough now. like first 5 minutes, you thought you're a posh cunt. And he talked about London, and we thought, no, we're not having you talk about London. And now you're going to skip the fucking Lidl. Like, we're not having it. And just started booing him. Just booing him and shouting off. And he just went, "Oh, it's clear you don't like me." Put the mic in the stand and just ran away. And then literally the compere just went, "Oh, yeah, well, It happens. Your next act is a newer act. Welcome, Rob Thomas. I was like, fuck, are you fucking messing? It was booed. Straight on. Not a bit. Just went, oh, well, it happens. Your next act's a newer act. Welcome, Rob Thomas. I just fucking introduced me to the stage. As first 5 minutes, it's just me trying to win them over. I just had to just keep ripping him. Just keep going.
See his gut hanging out. Make sure you go.
That fight though, that video that Longley made. It's the first time I've ever seen a proper like bar brawl. It's like there's like tables, chairs getting thrown, people on the floor. That could happen at any time.
Yeah.
It's always got that mood to it. There's always different groups in, and you just think they just fucking.
I used to MC it. Well, we used to MC it a lot, didn't we? Like alternate.
No, it was you and Freddie.
Freddie, yeah. And we'd dive at like a WhatsApp group and be like, because you'd always walk in and go, well, this is going to like be someone outside with a giant inflatable dildo, button like a cig out on it, and you're like, well, this is going to be horrendous. This is going to be awful. Then you go, it was actually all right. But it always had that edge,
boxy green room,
yeah, where you think
the worst
this is going to kick off.
Comedy that.
Yeah, it did always have that edge. I remember like gigging it a couple of times, and it'd just be one group, and one group would love you, one group would hate you, and you just like, please don't mouth up, and then you'd mouth up, and then they'd boo them or something.
Yeah, hard gig that one.
Loved it.
Is the sound all right?
I was just conscious, just a tad. That's it.
Sorry if I moved too far away.
No, it's just because no, that's fine.
I'm aware when I laugh, I've got a proper cackle, so I don't want to.
Oh no, that's fine. Don't worry about that.
Are you still a taxi driver, by the way?
Yeah.
Sort of, not really.
Still doing it.
I am.
HMRC or
Yeah. I have a contract with a school, or not with the council.
Right.
So I take kids to school. That's all I do. So I do 4 hours a day.
Oh, right.
And that's it.
He takes kids to school.
I know, it just
sounds funny that you went, I take kids to school. Just out of context. Just like, that's just what I do.
You in a car,
not even a taxi. Not even a taxi. I just take them.
Let's go on all the hands and walk them to school.
Yeah.
That's what it is. No, yeah, so that's all I do. So I do 4 hours a day and then go home and edit or write or some shit like that.
I forgot. I'm too late now, obviously, but when I thought you were coming on, I could have got that DVD off you.
Which one?
The one off the is it the Czech one? What's that? Oh, the Serbian one.
Serbian film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DVD.
I'll
have to make it next time.
I'll send it.
Are you trying to get into foreign horror?
No, there's just this one film that
I don't think it's a horror film.
He's mentioned. It's more of a thriller. I think
it's a thriller, and
what's it called? So that
do you ever think this is why you might have anxiety?
No,
because you watch horrific shit.
No,
and you're scared of ghosts.
What's the film called?
The film's called a Serbian film.
A Serbian film,
and it's a very
inappropriate.
It's brutal. It's brutal, but the story I stand by is really, and you get to the end.
Yeah.
It's a film that's meant to make you feel like it's kicked the shit out of you, and you come away from it like having had every emotion.
Well, you're right though, because you do these gigs where you're going to get knifed, and then you're watching these films. It's like the reason you're on the
films. You wonder why you're on edge.
Yeah.
And you told us before we started the podcast you've got about a gallon's worth of extra Monster in your like Monster times more in your car.
No, it's just because I went on Yankee bundles and just I didn't realise it was all short dated, so I've got to get through these cans.
You haven't got to get through him.
No, he has. He's got to wear a suit 5 times for the
drinking his energy drink.
I've got 400 bars of green and black's chocolate as well that goes off at the end of the month.
How much was that?
£4.
£4, and you didn't think it'd be short dated.
I can't do Monster.
It's just chocolate.
Yeah, but why do you not think why? How many bars of it you got?
I think there's about 100 in a box, and I've got
Willy
4
Wonka
boxes.
over there.
Like, so you got 400 bars of chocolate for £4, and you didn't think it might be short dated or.
You should start doing a little tuck shop at gigs. You're like monstering, like
rather than selling DVDs at the end. Just set up on stage. Like there was who's that Mundo Jazz or someone? He used to do that. He used to have a load of
He's not even selling his own DVDs. He's just selling Serbian films.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny if you said at the end of the gig, if you enjoyed what I do, I'm selling out Black's chocolate. Got to eat it tonight though.
Yeah.
It's good chocolate. That it's really nice.
Yeah, it's good. You had until you've had 100 bars of it in 4 days, and now it's horrible.
Diabetes.
I'm sick to fucking death of this posh Irish tea I've got as well, because I got a bulk order of that as well.
Why'd you buy it in bulk?
I think it was the pandemic just got me into
bulk.
But I've still got bog roll from pre-pandemic.
How much did you buy?
Oh, you're horrible. Was you one of them who bought loads of bog roll?
I have no idea how much I've got left, but there's like
a room.
Do you know how much did you buy? How big's your fucking house for starters?
I did.
Storing it all.
So, what are you both here to promote?
So how much bog roll did you buy?
I just bought, every time I went, I just bought 2 because you could buy
How many
like
times did
2
you go then if you've still got some left?
I used to go loads. I love going Lidl because the middle aisle changes. And I know it's a hack subject, but I do love the middle aisle and the weird sort of stuff that you can buy.
Is it Lidl or Aldi? That's the weird aisle.
No, well,
Lidl.
Yeah, they've all got a weird middle aisle, and I just love it.
Aldi's is sounds, I think.
What do you think of the Waitrose middle aisle?
Oh, I forgot. Why are you two a bit?
No, that was it was just me being a Tory one.
Well, you listen,
You're
not.
No.
No, but I get called a Tory.
Why?
Because he wears white socks. And
Wear
he's
white
Got a
posh.
leather jacket.
It's just
the white sock-
well,
white
to be honest
socks
with you,
are Tory,
it's sort of done now, innit? But
Yeah, you can't wear white socks in Liverpool, can you?
No.
Why?
Yeah, this is a big Liverpool
'Cause
thing.
you mix
can't
your
wear white.
Tory.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it was like a superstition.
I don't think Barry will care too much about what socks he's got on in Liverpool.
All right, I thought it was
Are you
like.
sure? He's scared of ghosts. He's never going to wear white socks in
You
Liverpool
should have
now.
told it, made him think that was a superstition.
I thought that was
He'd
a
be
superstition,
I'm
that.
giggling,
I know.
like,
I was
Yeah.
talking to you about this, about not cutting your toenails on a Sunday.
yeah.
Bad luck, that.
Have you
Where'd
ever
you
heard
hear
that?
that?
Who said that?
Me mum.
Oh, fuck me, mate.
Fucking
Don't
hell.
cut your toenails. I think we're the last generation of the superstitious. Because
Yeah, 'cause everything's Googleable.
yeah, but
Googleable.
you
Sounded
won't
good,
see
doesn't it?
you won't see people like, I think the saluting magpies is dying out.
I do that all the time. Do you do that? No. You
A
wouldn't.
little-
It'll cross my mind when I see him.
yeah.
3
You've got any
grids,
Why wouldn't I
Because you're
salute
just too
magpies?
cocky to be believing superstitions.
ladders.
Yeah.
Well,
No, no.
You
ladders.
see, that's sensible because if you're going up a ladder, there's usually something above you that could fall on you. That's not bad luck. That's
3
just
grids?
sense.
I don't.
No,
You won't
no,
walk across
don't.
3 grids?
No.
Well, but the 2 grids is meant to be good luck, innit? And the 3 grids bad luck.
I don't know.
Just 3 grids I won't walk across.
Oh, no, I'm not asked. I'll be honest, I'm not asked, but I am. You're right.
Yeah.
I am too arrogant.
What else is
Yeah,
there?
you're like, no, I won't have
I'll
to.
front of superstition.
I don't know.
like,
The
yeah.
magpie one's the one that gets me the most. I think. Ironic, that's the one where you've got
still
to.
got-
That's the one where I've got to take the hand off the wheel as well, which makes it fucking more dangerous technically.
Right.
But I'll always do that.
You always
Don't-
salute a single magpie.
single magpie. If there's 2, you're fine.
Do you say yes, Mr. Magpie?
No, just a little.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's hi, Mr. Magpie, how are you and yours or something, isn't it?
Yeah, you best start saying
Is
that.
it? Oh, no, I wouldn't do that.
I
That's,
didn't
Yeah,
know
you gotta say that out loud.
no, I'm too gangster for that. I ain't saying
Oh,
that.
nah.
Nah.
I always go in my head, 1 for solid, 2 for choice. But I don't like, there's no
Yeah.
superstition there.
Friday the
Don't give a
13th,
shit.
I'm never bothered by.
That's because you watched every horror film under the sun on Friday the 13th. You're like, oh, fuck it, that won't happen to me, so it's fine.
I've only ever seen one of them. I'm not into all these stalker.
You know when
slasher
you're on your
films.
own.
They're the ones I like. I can't stand. So you know, like ghosts and that. That's the only thing that ever scares me. I can't bear to watch a horror film about something I can't fight. That's literally what it is. I can't stand.
Wow.
So-
I can't stand watching films about things that I can't fight.
You watch Jaws?
What?
You watch Jaws?
Well, it's too
You ever
old now.
watched Depression?
It's watching the
It's a
Babadook.
Serbian film. You'd be terrified by it.
You see, those are my
So like,
favorite.
I love Scream and all that, but like, if you maybe see if you like Paranormal Activity, I just be like, oh, and I can't bear this. I can't bear the thought.
Right, so-
I can't bear. It's not even that I'm scared of it. I can't bear the thought of like, because if you're in a film, you put yourself in it, don't you? You're like,
Well-
same with porn. So like, if I'm watching porn, I make sure it's. Never watch black porn because I can't see myself as a black man. So I try and watch white, fat white
Just
porn.
watch Fake Taxi all the time.
Yeah, basically.
I've got half of it.
When Fake Taxi come in, I watch that loads. I did watch it
No
loads.
fucking stop
Yeah.
him. You know. That's why they're flagging me on.
What have me and bend over not got on common?
But yeah, so like, I can't.
I can put the southern accent on if you want.
You get any fluids on the seat? That's 50 quid.
Yeah.
There's
so
a
like-
film called Host,
Yeah.
which on just would you have a go at watching it for
I've
me?
watched them. I just find them uncomfortable. I don't like the idea.
Is that because you've got to sit in a seat for like...
I just don't like the idea of something you can't fight. But like, I like watching slasher films and thinking, I'd fucking have killed him in 5 minutes. Be a short film if Bobby was in this.
Do you reckon you could though? You reckon you could, if someone like broke in, you'd...
If someone broke into my house, I'd just go and find a corner and I'd put me back to it and I'd wait for him.
No, it'll take you long.
And
Have you got a weapon?
Stand up.
What?
Have you got a weapon ready?
Yeah. I'll grab something. I'll go in the corner and I'll
Have you
just
got
wait.
something under the bed, like a bat or something
no,
ready
no,
to?
no.
Have you not?
You got these, mate. You got these.
Yeah. I got the Widowmaker and the Rhino Killer.
Right, so when you watch like a horror film,
yeah,
and then so say you're on that, and you're on the house and you're on your own, and it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Do you get nervous and anxious about if you see someone sitting on the landing in a chair, like a silhouette, and then you piss yourself a bit? I do that so much. I hate it. Like,
there's films that I've turned off. Like there was a film called Lake Mungo that took me 3 goes to watch. And there was one, this is why I mentioned it to you, called Host, which the film's an hour long.
I feel like I might have, no,
it's a Zoom call.
I think I've seen that.
It's 4 people and they're having a psychic, and they're doing it on Zoom, and something goes wrong when they're doing the thing.
Has that recently just come out?
Yeah, it was made in the pandemic.
Yeah, I think.
And it's the 4 girls on Zoom watching, and one goes away and she's got like a thing playing on loop of her walking around when she's away from a screen.
I've seen something like that.
There's a bit in it, and it's a little bit spoilery, but you won't sort of see it coming. There's a bit where one of something's moving in the house, so she's carrying the laptop to look around. She's like, I'm sure there's something here. And she there's a blanket in her way, and she just throws it out the way, and it goes over, and it lands on top of something that stood next to her. I was like, and that's going off. Right. I shit myself.
But the thing really that fucks with me is that, one thing that I always just piss myself with is, like, say I'm on, like, just walking up the stairs, and I'm just going to trick myself into thinking there's a silhouette there, and like I'll put my head to it. I literally will piss myself sometimes. I go like, really? I've terrified myself that much. Or if the lights just coming on it, and I'll just put in my head a silhouette. And also with a cabinet mirror.
Yes.
That trope will always be in my head.
See something behind
gonna go,
yeah.
And then I just get that sweat on, and I go,
Did you see the Amityville Horror remake? Because that's got a bathroom mirror bit.
It's such a trope, but it
oh God, it works to shit you up. It really works.
But when you're doing it in your own house with a cabinet, and you're thinking, there you go, no one's there, and there's some.
Do you go around checking, do you?
No, but like just when I'm doing it.
You in the corner, backed up.
Just when I'm in the mirror, but like if I see anything, or then it's dead quiet at night, and then you'll hear something.
How do you go to bed? How do you leave the house when you go to bed?
How do I leave the house?
So when if I'm in the house,
not how do you leave?
All right,
I go to bed, just jump out the window.
If I'm in the house on my own, I close when I go to bed, I close every single door in the house besides my bedroom door, so I'll be able to hear something.
On the other way, I've got doors open, obviously front back
make
door
it easy
locked.
to get around your house.
But I sleep with the lights and the TV on, so I hate the dark and I hate the quiet.
You have the full light on.
Well, not
night light.
Not full. I've got like a orange night light thing. This big rock
just glows orange from all the Monster he drinks. Let's go.
It does glow orange. How bright does this make the room?
I can read.
Wow.
There's nothing to do with the light. I'm just showing off. No, I could
so
read.
The intruder has a book with him.
Yeah.
Here's another thing: going to close patio door curtains at the night and thinking their face is going to appear.
I have that one.
Yeah.
When you're lit up and then you turn the light off, and you think they're just going to see it.
You just go, oh yes, no one will be there because that's stupid. And you think, well.
I always think that when the security lights come on, you think there's just going to be someone in the back of the garden.
I had this happen to me when we lived in when we lived in like a bungalow, and it was facing like the fields and Formula on Lark and into the beach.
Yeah.
And at 2 a.m, I was in the front bedroom, and it's a bungalow.
Yeah.
And at 2 a.m, I just hit on the window, legit. And when you look out of it, this is just forest. It's like a load of stuff, and then forest, and then I just hear that on the and I go, what the fuck? And then I'll go, and then I went into, and I was like, there's someone here. I went, it's someone here, and then I opened the
someone shouting outside the window.
I opened the door. Right, I opened the door.
Yeah.
And then there's like a porch door as well. I open the door, look out a bit, and then the skinhead just comes right up against the window, topless skinhead scouser. I went, oh,
you better not water me.
And he was like, I'm lost. And I was like, what? And he's like, I'm lost. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm lost, lad. And then I just went, I shut the door, went to me parents, and were like, there's some lad who's just saying he's lost. And then my dad just looked out the window. He's like, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm lost. And he's like, where's the train station? And we went just down there and right, and he's like, oh, yeah. And then he just scuttles off.
I can't believe you opened the door. That is like
I didn't open the second door. I opened that door to sort of see who was going to be out there.
Right.
I'm thinking, what was that? Was it like an animal or something? And then I just see him come across, just skinhead, just...
A skinhead as well.
Wired.
You would be like, I know it'd be like...
Well, it's clearly just some scally who's been at the beach on the gear all day and he just wandered through the forest.
His mates have left him.
Well,
and he
like,
just woke up on the beach and gone,
fuck, that was terrifying.
Anthony Gormley statues.
Yeah.
But they know just went, it's 2 a.m, maybe look at the train now.
Mate, we just wanted him gone. We knew he couldn't get the train. We were like, just, the station is down there. Be someone else.
Don't bother someone else.
Yeah.
I had one at 2 a.m, which was a
knock
knock on.
Yes, I remember you telling me this.
This really scared me. Like, it was like real life proper fear. It was about 2:30 a.m, and I was asleep, and then the doorbell went. And I was like,
Who's ringing at that time?
He's pressing the doorbell. That's never good news.
No, it's not. Even at 9 o'clock, unexpected. Who was ringing you at that time on the doorbell? Even the phone going is a bit like...
So I picked up my phone, and because I've got a Ring doorbell, and I looked, and it wasn't connecting. It just said cannot reach camera.
I could see a screwdriver going in, taking it out.
No word of lie, it was Halloween as well. Honestly.
That sort of makes it a bit easier for me because people are up to hijinks.
Well, I then went to the front, upstairs, but to the front and opened the window and looked out. It was fucking belting down with rain. And there was just a girl stood at the door like that.
Oh my God. And she crawled up there quick.
Yeah.
Let herself in.
You never did that corporate, Mary. You never did that corporate.
She was the one who got christened. Yeah. You owe my dad money. £500.
Pussy.
Oh my God! Like what sort was she? Did she look like she was dressed up or like a night
like
out?
Shivering in.
Oh, this is a prank on you. This from somebody.
And so I went downstairs and opened the door.
Why didn't you shout at her from the window? I'm shouting from the window.
Well, my worry was, I don't know why.
She running from someone else though.
Yeah, but you just go, is everything all right from the top of the window? You don't go down over the door.
She goes, no, I'm standing here shivering, knocking on your door at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
oh no,
okay.
I did shout from the window. I just went, hello, and she went, can you help me?
Oh, no, that gets worse. I'd rather she just started smashing my car up or something.
Tap out.
Yeah.
So I went down.
I didn't give a shit. I go, you fucking slag. I'm terrified. You're scaring the shit out of me. Can you help me? It.
No.
Yeah.
I went.
I've got no change, sorry.
Well, you can't go back to bed.
How old did she look?
It was hard to tell because at this point it's dark. I'm upstairs and they've just got
this.
this.
Is it raining?
Her eyes were
belting down the rain.
God.
It's orange light in his room. It couldn't.
She was just hovering at the other door.
Oh, Barry,
so I went down.
Barry's just trying to throw green and black chocolate bars at her. You're a bit late. You're a bit late for trick or treat.
Oh my
Gave
God.
her a couple of cans of that monster and said, go on, run home.
So go on,
I went down and opened the door and she was there. She's absolutely soaked to the skin. And she'd obviously had makeup on for Halloween. God, so all the makeup had ran. I don't know what she was dressed up as, but it was just like streaked all over her. And she was just there and she just went, I don't know where I am. And your light was on because I sleep with the fucking all the lights on.
Yeah, the TV was really loud.
Your lecky bill must be through the roof.
I'm worried about that, yeah.
I'd be more scared of that than the girl.
Yeah, I'm getting...
Eon.
The girl's like, I can see you.
Sending freaks round at 3 a.m. now.
I can get you a better deal.
Yeah.
I can see you reading through your window, so I knew you were safe.
One of my neighbours did say it to me, like had a private word, and she said, why do you watch Mythbusters every night? And it was because the telly's next to the bedroom wall, which is their bedroom. And I do watch
right.
There's a programme on
Why are you
wanking to it?
There's an app called Pluto, right, which you can get, and it's like each channel's just got a theme. So like there's like a Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. Well, that's all that channel is. It's just repeated.
Right.
And there's a Mythbusters one. So they're basically going to bed every night and they're hearing Mythbusters. Mythbusters.
That's what I'm watching when I go to bed.
And it just loops all through the night. So they're getting up for work in the morning and they're like listening to the wall going, you still got Mythbusters on.
They don't do it going,
it's your house.
I'll tell you what's not true. I'll tell you what you
So
you wouldn't believe
so
this.
you go down, see this girl.
So I go
She's
down.
shivering. Can you help me?
Can you help? I just went, you all right? And she just said, I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
And
Well, you're in Gateshead, love fucking.
well, my first thought was just like, is there someone? Because round the side
Yeah,
of my
I think-
house,
Yeah.
there's a
Oh,
road.
there's someone watching.
Ready to get in the house.
That's why
Yeah.
I think fuck the internet now with these, you know, these prank videos where they'll prank people into thinking like someone needs help and you'll go over and you'll scare them. So now it makes you, whenever you see somebody need help, you think I'm going to be the fool of it, so I'm not going to help that cunt because they're going to scare me or something. Do you know what I mean? So you go like, I'm not going to help people now
paranoid you lot.
because somebody be filming it,
he's
secret
right.
camera.
And honestly, if someone did do that and someone jumped out and then they just went, oh, look, there's a camera there, there's a camera there, I'd be like, well, you're not using that footage ever.
You do hear about them using
I'd be out
women
to,
or like animals or stuff, so
Yeah.
they get in.
Yeah, absolutely.
well, my reference was to what I thought wasn't. I thought Red Dead Redemption. You know, when you're riding along, there's someone asking for help, and you get off your horse to help them. Then all the gang comes and ambushes
It's like
you.
people will throw an egg at your car to make you stop or something, or throw a brick at your car to make you stop, and then you nip in and get it, or you'll be someone. I've hurt my leg. Someone pulls over to help. The other people nip in, get the car.
My old agent told me a story about somebody who stopped in the road because there was a pram in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And got out to look, and there was nothing in the pram. Got back in the car, set off driving, and then this other car started chasing them and chased them all the way, and they drove to the police station.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say there was a baby in the car just driving.
No, someone like just driving right next to them, like fucking blaring the horn. They drove to a police station, got out, ran in. The person in the car behind jumped out and ran in as well, and screaming, think they're going to get attacked. And the person who was chasing them just went, someone got in the back of your car when you stopped.
Myth, surely.
Yeah, that sounds like one of them
That's a
things.
story I think I've heard as well.
Someone, I got told it in that, somebody had snuck in the back seats of the car behind.
And the problem is, you've watched Mythbusters and then fell asleep. Fell asleep just at the end of that story.
But what can happen also in the car park, you know, when you're on your way to the car and then you press the beep thing and someone's on the passenger side ducking down, and then as you're going to get into your side of the car, they hop in with you.
And what?
Well,
keep
then they'll
your
go
car estate,
drive
they
or something, or give me everything you got or something like that.
What have you got?
Well,
People, you hear all these stories.
I was
It's not
thinking
true.
about that. You can't. There's pointless. Muggers are fucked now because we're pretty much
no one's got cash
cashless,
anymore.
and everyone can disable their phone. Oh
you
yeah.
die, innit? You die.
Honestly, people have these stories and it
Well,
always.
someone
gets
informed me.
You're all paranoid.
What happens informed
You
me?
all live
what
in the
happens
middle class areas,
is,
and you have these little whispers to try and keep you away
You
from
don't
poor
have
people.
to worry because no one approaches you.
Yeah,
And
this
it's vulnerable.
this man informed me, and
I do say that always. People go, I haven't got an alarm on my house. That's my alarm.
on the way to in the village, he
my
was
alarm.
parked up, and this, I think she was Eastern European, just gets into his car, and he's just like, "What are you doing?" And she's there going, "Oh yeah, you want to come?" Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Get out! I'm waiting for my wife. Get out!" This actually
That's what he
happens.
told his wife.
This is like that thing where they goes, "I've had my wallet more Tuesday, Wednesday." You have to, but then he was like, "Get out!" And then she gets his watch off him somehow, legs it down into the village. He gets out, runs after her, gets her. She quickly jumps off, and there's a car there already with 3 lads in. She quickly jumps in. They scoot off. That happened in Formby a few months ago. So that's what happens. She got in,
And that's a posh middle.
That's a posh middle class. Yeah.
Is that where you from?
Well, but it's becoming a little bit more.
Don't start,
Are you?
Yeah,
a
don't
bit-
start me on it.
Are you
It's been
posh middle
infiltrated.
class area?
No.
Soon to be.
Brutal.
Soon to be.
And you'd be all right with the Lonsdales. I'll just be like, there's nothing.
No, I'm working
She'd
class.
jump in and go,
The self-defense then shoots.
You're like Casio, nah. You know what I mean?
she'd just start screaming.
I dress for self-defense.
So what happened with this girl? Then?
Yeah.
So I went down and she said, "Can you help?" And I just thought, I've got no other option here.
I just ring the police.
Well, I just said, "Come in," because it was belting with rain.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
So
You leave it outside in the rain.
Yeah, I'll ring the police.
So
Give me your
she-
number. What's
well,
your
that
dad's
I'd
number?
go outside with her. if I was going to do that.
Well, you're more vulnerable then.
You know, but
and a knife.
Well, actually, if it was a woman on woman, but if I was a man, I don't ever invite her in.
I think there's somebody else here. I'm getting scumbagged there by. There's another people
that was the
waiting for me.
thinking. I thought if she's in and I locked the door, there's nobody else getting in, which I'm aware puts me.
Well, I'd be terrified if I was that girl and knocked for help. You come in, then you go lock all the doors.
Well, I just thought because she could say I went to this house and something happened, but like as you know, my house is like fucking Big Brother. Like if anything moves in my house, it's fucking picked up by everywhere.
Why?
Making a film, probably.
It's interesting.
Go on, we'll get to it in a minute. Right. So you get this girl.
So she came in and she said, "What?" She said, "I was at a party and I fell out with so and so, and they kicked me out." I said, "What time did you get kicked out?" She said, "I don't know. I've been walking for hours." And she didn't have like shoes on. She was just like her feet were like in tights.
Why would this happen to you of all people?
Yeah.
And she said, "So I tried." I was like, "Oh look, I'll." And she said, "Can you get me a taxi? I've got." And she like had a $5. I said, "Where you going?" She told me where she was going.
Money as well, like.
That'd be so
I have
funny.
these shillings.
Could you get me a horse and car, please?
As her eyes roll into her eyes.
Do you know Big Bobby T?
Can you get me a real taxi? Yeah. This happened with the fake one.
I tried getting an Uber. I couldn't get one, and because she was
how
obviously
old was she?
She's early 20s.
Oh.
And it was
fit or not?
I was thinking the last 10 minutes, is she fit though?
Yeah.
And what I did was, because I couldn't get an Uber, I just rang a taxi company, and she got in the back of it, and I gave the taxi driver 20 quid, like cash, and just said, she just knocked on my door, just take her home, and if it's any more than that, just come back here and I'll give you the rest of the money.
Did she know? Could she remember? Was she like sober enough to know where she lived?
Yeah. She got a free taxi. And was, thank God for that. Yeah. Done him again. Cheers. Yeah, go to the drive-through, please.
I've got enough here for a big bag.
Yeah.
But it was playing on my mind because obviously didn't get much sleep after that.
She's lucky. It's like.
Well, I went on Facebook the next day and because I put a status on saying, "Look, this happened last night." And I told the story and said, "Should I ring the police, or am I just being am I wasting the police's time?" And everyone was just like, "You should probably ring the police and
just in
report
case she goes
it.
missing or something." Or
well, yeah, just you know. And when I
did you know where? Did she tell you where she lived?
Yeah. Because she told the taxi. She said she told me which area she lived in, and she told the taxi driver the exact address, which I wrote down when I got in. And so when I rang the police and they said we've had no reports or anything, and I thought, well, I know her address, I know where she lives.
Let's go knock on the door.
That's what people said. Some people said go knock on the door, but then I just thought, you don't know, like she might have got into trouble for like you just don't know. So it was like, I've made sure she got home. The taxi was one of those ones where you can track them. It dropped her off. She was safe. I rang the police, and it was just like, well, that's
they were like, I never took a woman home last night.
Please,
there was no taxi.
That house hasn't existed for 200 years.
But it was like a horror film.
Imagine if you reviewed the footage and you're just at the door and there's no one there, like Fight Club.
Oh no, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
When I looked down and I just saw her stood, it was like, this is the start of a film.
I'm shouting at her. I'm saying, what's your number?
Oh, I've done the same as Barry. I just got it in.
You just in that moment, you just think.
You make a judgment on what this is. You think, is this fishy or is this legit?
If it was a pissed bloke, it would have been like, stay there. But this is clearly some girl in distress, and it's like, even let's say the worst thing happened and someone was trying to attack her. This is a comedy podcast, I'm aware, but if something bad was going on, the thing to do in that instance was to get her in and get her safe.
Yeah.
So
I think she'd have been like that if she was
also, what you got to realise though, she knocked on his because his lights were on. If there was any nefarious intent, they're not going to want someone who's up and about and awake.
Yeah, she also knew like anyone watching Mythbusters wouldn't be like a threat. Just clearly be very lonely, and they just want.
Sorry, no. If someone's knocking on if I see somebody stood in the pissing rain, knocking on my door at 2 a.m, I'm not answering. I'm speaking to them from the window, and I'm making.
This is why, like, Barry did a really nice thing where she would be on Crime Watch. She'd be like, you went missing. She did try and knock for help.
No, I'd watch her and see what's going on. And then when she gets picked up and bundled into a car, I go, oh dear, well, I never saw anything.
I had to go and delete the thing because this weird thing started happening where people say, "Oh,
girls every night just turn them to
I said it's a scam.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, they're all getting Mackey's drive.
Taxi driver, it was like that. It's his daughter.
It's not even raining.
She's in a
It's
wig
just got a
every
bottle of
night.
water on her head. Hang on, that's
Go knock on his house. You'll give me
hot that night.
He'll give me 20 quid, and then we'll just go. It's been a shit night. It's been slow. Go knock on Barry's.
Some people did do the kind of, oh well, at least it was your house and not some fucking psychopath. But then I was like,
some psychopaths asleep in the dark.
But then it looked like I was sort of like doing. Because one of the things I really hate is virtue signalling online. It really does my head in. And Longley rang me up and he went, "Oh, Barry, can you give me that?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm deleting it. I'm deleting it.
At any point was you thinking, I'll just take it home? I'll just drive it home?
I was talking to you about this the other night because, like, when you're young and stuff, you don't realise the risks. Like, because I went to, like, we got, like, at uni, it was, like, 18, 19. Got a flyer to, like, a house party. No, we didn't know it was a house party at the time. It was, like, a club night, all you can drink, tenner in. So me and my mates were all 18, tenner in. Yeah. We didn't know where it was, this club. So we just followed the address on the flyer, got a taxi there. And it was a man's house.
Oh, my God.
It was like a 40-year-old man's house. But we were like, "Oh, you're going tenner in." And there was just loads of students in this man's house. Oh. And we were like sat on like his bed in the living room. He put like, he had like beds downstairs.
How busy was it?
It was busy. It was loads of students there. But I think now you think, oh my, that is so weird.
Yeah.
How much money he's made that night though?
I know. And it was like Costco vodka.
Yeah.
And like that.
He's just gone and bought loads. He's done a Barry. He's bought vodka going out the next week. It's how you get rid of your chocolate bars. Just go and take loads of kids. £5 in.
Yeah, I'll go online and come round my house. I've got some chocolate.
But I didn't think it was weird till recently. And my mate was like, "Do you remember that? We just sat next to his fireplace drinking like black vodka." And we're like, "Oh yeah, 10 quid in though." Woo!
Was it just girls there?
No, come to think of it,
Epstein Island on a budget.
Are you seeing a business opportunity?
This is your Michelle de Swart moment. She might have gone to Epstein Island, but
no, I can't remember. I think there was fellas there. It wasn't anything where we felt threatened, but now looking back, it was really weird. You're like, that is
right.
A man eating like cornflakes.
So wasn't he drinking with the students?
It was full of students, and there was fellas, like other male students there as well. But he was just making money off the students. That was it. But if you think about it, we shouldn't have gone in the first place.
Well, there might have been some girls that had a bit of a worse fate, mightn't they? You don't know.
I was going to say, have you seen the film Hostel?
Yeah.
Where they all go to a party in Amsterdam.
Barry's got a horror film for every occasion.
This reminds me. Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Is that what happens in hostels?
That's the one where they go to a party in Amsterdam.
Right.
And then
they get put in their
wake
dungeon.
up and they're in these,
But like, what, you going on a girls' holiday? Have you not seen Taken?
You can't have kids. Have you seen The Poltergeist? See what happens?
Yeah.
What, you're going to adopt? Have you not seen Orphan?
Oh, I've got that to watch.
Have you not watched it?
Someone spoiled it and told me.
Oh, so you know the ending?
They were adopted.
Someone's told me. Because it's a true story.
Yeah.
What's Orphan? I think I might have seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's based on a true story, and she's done it to like 3 or 4 different families.
But none of them are true.
No, they are true.
Yeah, that is true.
Hang on. Who's in
You've
this?
seen Orphan, right? Do you want me to tell you? Spoiler.
Scuff.
I don't
Right,
care.
they adopt a young girl, and it turns out she's not a young girl.
I've seen this.
She looks very similar to Rachel Fairbairn. She's not a young girl. She's like 30 odd.
It's a big creepy house.
I don't know. But I can't remember the house now. But remember they adopt, try and give her a nice life, and there's like this young girl's like she's just acting like she's like had a hard life. She's a young girl. And it turns out she's like 30 odd. Tries to seduce the husband. Tries to shag the husband, and then he like pushes her off. She goes mental and tries to kill everyone.
I think
and it's a true story, and this,
it happened
this
to like 3 or 4
person
real
really did do it.
It's surreal.
Yeah.
I might watch that
for
then.
me recently.
This Polish girl, right?
Looking suburbia, I tell you.
The family trusted her because she had a nice watch on.
Girl turning over the pissing range, nothing, mate. Every night.
Oh, that's scary. That house.
Yeah, it's true that. I was thinking of the other one, that little Victorian boy film. That's like Orphan, I think, or something like that.
The orphanage. Yeah.
Orphanage, yeah. But no, that is a true story. I remember seeing it.
It doesn't end with like demons and shit, does it?
No, it's just a psychotic 30, 40-year-old woman who looks 12. Who just
like
keeps
Jeanette Cranky, but like
keeps putting herself like up for adoption. Like keeps like just going to different towns.
When was this out?
She's homeless.
Oh, it's fairly old, about 10-year-old now, something like that. You see, that's what I find scary. I think because I like horror. A real life, like to me, a horror film is just like
it gets to the end and
it's like a magic trick, and it's just like here's a bit of gore. You know it's fake.
That. Yeah.
But when you know that something's like, this is a true.
That's the thriller aspect, though.
Yeah. I had this with Milo when Milo was on the pod. Things like this don't scare me. Like, so when Milo locks it, if Milo parks his car and hasn't locked it, no matter where, like even in the busy town centre, it'll play on his mind. He can't. He can't do his gig. He can't. Like, it wrecks his head. And I think it's the most arrogant thing I've ever heard in my life. Because I just think, why do you think you're special? How many times do you think cars
just get yourself a car that locks on its own after a few minutes?
But how often do you think a car on that street gets robbed? Probably very minimal, maybe once a year in a busy city centre. You've not locked your car. How special do you think you are to be that one person in that year?
What would worry you?
Diabetes.
That's a genuine friend.
The drive-through not becoming 24-hour anymore. Mackey's having opening hours.
And before the pod when you went, don't do fat jokes anymore. Honestly, I'm not sure. Not much worries me. Like, I don't get
inflation hitting KFC.
Yeah.
Sugar tax.
Being skint. HMRC worries me. Yeah, something like that.
He faces them head on. Goes straight to the fear.
Worry, like, I've left the iron, or like never, or like
left the iron on.
Yeah.
Need to buy an iron first.
Because me and Hayley, this is what we're doing the podcast about, because we...
Oh, you got something to promote, have you?
Yeah,
we both have OCD. You were diagnosed...
actual OCD?
Yeah, well, I'm not like Barry level.
I was diagnosed when I was, I think, 15 or 16, and was you were... Yeah.
I just thought you were a weirdo.
Oh, no.
Right.
And that thing of locking doors and things like that and having a routine...
Why?
Because somebody break in.
But where's it stem from? Has somebody ever analysed that and gone, this is where it's come from?
No, I tried having all sorts of treatment for it, like this cognitive behavioural therapy.
Does anyone know the root of where it comes from? Is that known or not?
I don't think it's...
Can it stem from trauma and stuff, kind of?
Well, like, where does it... Because for me, I used to... You'd be like, I'm not OCD, but like, I've got to do this, like, and touch each part of my mouth in a certain way. And if I don't do it, I'll get annoyed, or something bad can happen.
That is OCD.
But then that's just
OCD.
But it's not that bad. I've tricked myself to get over it.
You're out for a meal. You're like,
well, that's very mild.
I just get on with it, don't you? I've got to. I'm just a weirdo. That's what I am. He's a bit odd.
Going for a nice meal.
Yeah.
He's eccentric.
It's just that he's a bit odd.
He's got to do it 100 times.
Yeah. He can't hold it. He's got to do it 8 times.
Do you have to do it on stage?
No. It's like, it's not debilitating or anything, but like, I used to have tapping and all that shit, and then I grew out of that because life hurt. Like, life got in the way. It's like, I can't be focused.
I can't tap anymore.
Doing this because I've got other shit to think about. But like, there's just certain little things that I like to do. Like, if I'm going to have a drink or something, I'll be like this. I'll be pushing it on my nose and doing that, and go like, I've got to hit each part of the nose, right?
But you haven't got a problem.
There's some comics. There's some comics who have it, and I've spotted
the pod
it
with a psychopath, man.
But I don't want to get diagnosed. Like I say, I'm just a bit of an odd man.
As he's drinking on the show.
I've noticed you've started to eat the cups that you drink out of.
Only the red ones.
He's all right, Sam. He's just a bit odd.
I was driving once. I left home on the. I left home.
Like OCD about that for a bit.
Right. Okay. I left home when I was on the phone once, which is I should know not to do it. So I had the headphones in at my phone, and I was talking away to someone. I tell you, it was Freddie Quinn. I was chatting away.
Yeah, never mind.
And he could hear me.
I get OCD when he calls me. I have to hit the red button 10 times. Ring again, Freddie. I've only hit 8 times.
Got this weird thing with Freddie where I just like don't answer. I just can't answer.
I can't hit the green button when Freddie rings me as well, though.
some reason, every time I talk to Freddie, I have to start the conversation with nonce. Nonce.
So Freddie rang you.
So I was distracted chatting to him, and he could hear that I was clearly on my way getting in the car, because then your audio jumps to the car, so he could hear me driving off, and he must have done it deliberately, because
probably
he went, "Where are you?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm on the M1 now," and he just went, "Did you lock that door?"
Oh, he's a cunt, isn't he?
And because I've been distracted on the phone,
you've turned back.
I had to go back.
How long did it take to get back?
I was about 20 minutes up the motorway. So that's
how far from your house?
Well, about 20 minutes. I lived.
So then another 20 minutes back, and then another 20 minutes.
So that put 40 minutes on top of me.
Like, what did you think was going to happen if that door wasn't locked?
Get robbed.
Yeah. Someone let.
And what?
Well, Barry's actually got stuff in his house, Rob.
Yeah, we know. Loads of it. Too much stuff. If anyone comes and robs you, they're doing you a fucking favour. You only had a week to get rid of half the stuff in the house. So someone comes in the house, wipes their ass, eats a couple of minutes of chocolate bar.
Cash and carry.
Imagine saying that to the police. What did they pitch? 500 energy drinks.
400 punk rolls.
300 green and black bars. But the strawberry flavours.
They left all the TV and everything.
Yeah.
So you had to
Did they
turn
take
back,
a TV? Because they couldn't turn it over for Mythbusters.
So you turn back based on the fact he just said that to you, yeah?
Yeah, it's enough.
That's what doesn't get me. That's what I don't understand. I don't get worried about things.
Could you not send someone round?
If someone said to me,
"Can you just go and
you
check
left the
my
door open," I go, "Oh, the door's open then, innit?"
I couldn't have that level of...
It's anxiety.
What do you think's going to happen?
I just know I've locked the door.
But it's not just the OCD knowing you haven't done it. It's the anxiety that it creates.
And it's also
that's what I mean.
They're not catastrophize things. So you go, oh, not only going to get robbed, this is going to happen.
Then I have to ring the insurers up,
and
that'll be hanging over me.
Yeah, and then I've done it myself.
Or I'm going to get home. What if there's somebody waiting?
Yeah.
What if I'm going to get... You just make
things
the worst.
Massive. Like, we're terrible for doing that. Well, I didn't realise I had it. Like, it was only a couple of years ago, wasn't it? And I was at the time, and I was really
You've been an odd woman up until this point.
Just licking away. Rubbing me drink on my nose, just thinking nothing of it. Not even using a straw, just using a nostril. But when I was driving, that was mine, because I was like, when you're tired and you're driving back late from the gig, I was worrying that I'd like knock people over. I knew I hadn't, so I knew it was mad. Because when you stop concentrating when you're driving, so when you stop concentrating when you're driving, you just sort of forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, like when you piss.
Yeah, well, he's had about 3 cans at this point.
Like when you had a couple of Furstenbergs on the MCN. Was that a fox? I don't know.
Yeah, when you're in a good part of the film and you think, oh, watch it. Oh, fucking hell. I've watched that film a bit too long. I best look at the road.
Try and have a quiet drink and off the drive.
I watch TV while I'm driving. He drinks while he's driving.
You don't.
No, I don't. I drink coffee. Go on, what'd you say?
So, look at him worrying for you now.
What are you watching?
Fake taxi.
Mythbusters.
Trying to pick up some tips.
With the footy, if I'm driving, there's a footy match on. Oh, God. I watch the footy.
Anyway, I was worried. I'm not worried now.
Well, if I'm well into a Netflix series, I've only got like 1 episode, 2 episodes left. I think, fucking, I'll finish that on the way home.
Oh, fuck, I'm glad I don't do hot water, because he's done me a favour by not booking me Binty. Because you're driving around watching telly. I'd shit myself driving into Manchester. I'd be looking around for you. Yeah, he's got a Tesla.
He's fine. It drives itself.
Professional driver, mate.
Yeah, but nobody's professional to the point of not looking out the windscreen.
Barry, we do things different on another one podcast.
One eye on the road, one eye on Ozark.
Another car.
So when you're driving back...
So I was worrying that I was knocking people over, but I knew I hadn't done it, so I knew it was mad.
Yeah.
But to just reassure myself that I hadn't... Like, when you see cyclists coming, like...
lap.
Yeah, then you think, oh my God, where's that cyclist gone? I'd do another lap, yeah.
You must have some hell of clean air charges for Birmingham, just the tonic. Back and forth to Birmingham.
I'd do it.
See, if that was me, I'd just be going, oh, I hope no one catches me.
Honestly, I've
knocked them over now. I hope I don't get caught.
So what? So you what would you do then when you get like close to home and you think you've been knocking people over or what?
No, I'd be go, I won't concentrate then. I hope nothing's happened.
Right.
I'll drive back round just to check. And I do that. I haven't done this for ages, but it's when I'm like bad. This is when I was really ill with it. So I thought I was doing. So I'd just go back round and check. But then I used to have a joke about it. But my mate
you know when I'd do that? When someone's having murder in the street, I'd do another lap to go
just
watch. Just to watch the murder.
You missed it because you're watching the match.
Go on then. What happened? So you
But I used to have a gag about it, but this is true. Then my mate was like, but yeah, what if you went back round to check and then you're not someone over?
Yeah.
But like, so
Same person on the
but
floor.
I was like, I was
Maybe you're just driving around trying to kill people
to get to the curb.
Rats, there was no one on the way home then. I'll drive round the block again.
What's that Bill Murray film where they just repeats the same day constantly?
Groundhog Day.
It's just
But
there, just knocking over another cyclist every time.
So I knew it was, but you know it's mad, then you upset yourself because you know it's absolutely
So you know you're being
shit.
out of order.
Yeah, I knew it was mad.
Yeah.
But I thought I've got to do it. So then obviously I went to the doctors and stuff like that.
Because you were panicking, you were hitting people like you didn't even...
It'd be funny, you get a doctor's, coming out of the doctor's, just a cyclist in front of her. just three people in a lycra in the waiting room as Hayley's waiting. Doctor, what's going on? I keep thinking hitting cyclists. She's like,
Sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Doctor, I keep thinking hitting cyclists.
And the Simon's in the waiting room.
Right, so that... that odd bloke.
so what's
in
up
the
with
waiting
teeth
room.
tapes funny?
Right, okay, and then... So that's anxiety, is it?
So I was diagnosed with anxiety, then I had CBT, and the CBT was like, I was telling him, he's like, you know that's OCD, like those repetitive thoughts. So it doesn't have to be like patterns and tapping and stuff like that. Stuff like obsessing over something.
That hasn't happened.
That affects your life. Yeah.
And that's because we would have long drives talking about it, because I would
just winding
then I'd
each
go
other
if
up.
you locked your house.
no,
You locked your house? Have you knocked over another cyclist yet?
We do make
You
each
check
other
your
weird.
rearview mirror?
Gaslighting each other on the way to Birmingham.
no, but I would find
Your hands on 10 and 2, the R barrier.
Has Rob Thomas set off yet?
but
You're not going anywhere in the northwest, are you?
So you have that as well?
yeah. So I
think you're gonna do
I do the ordering and the obsessive thinking. So, but I can spot it when Hayley does it, because I can go, right, hang on, that is you doing it. And at the same time, if
Hayley, you fucking weirdo, pack it in.
but at the same time, if I think I'm in a spin, I can ring you and go, right, I'm thinking this, and you'll go,
Yeah, and you're
no.
not blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah, it's to give, so we can both.
Is
give
that why your house is
perspective.
full of cameras then, because of the OCD?
Not just that.
Right.
I seen something on Facebook before I was going to send you, and I won't say, but it was like they're all pictures in the background, and they're all slightly. See, does that bother you? That some of them are skew with those.
I've not looked. I've not looked.
We close the curtains now.
Right, but what I'm thinking is,
Fucking hell.
what the fuck would happen to one of you if you did do one of these things? If you did hit someone in the car,
He's going, you never.
yeah,
Like, no.
yeah, I'd like to bring Barry Dodds to the. She never did it.
No.
He's dead.
The reds on my windscreen.
Barry, I think I've hit someone.
I can't go. The girl at my front door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barry, you are not a good Nick.
So that's the thing then. It was the worst thing about letting that girl in, the fact that she was wet. She's going to make your house, she's going to make your floor wet. You're like, oh,
Gonna shake
she's going
it
to
up
drip
like
on the
a
floor.
dog.
Isn't
Do you want to know the truth?
Yeah.
I made her stay near the door where the mat is. She didn't come into the living room.
You can come in the house, you're going to stay on the mat like a dog.
But at the same time, I was aware that was where she was in view of a camera.
You see, so wouldn't that, because obviously you might think that had happened. Could you think that could happen to you when it hasn't happened to you then? Is that something that you think, you know, the way you think you could have hit someone?
Yeah, but I know it's mad. I know it happens.
Yeah,
I know-
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
so you are aware, otherwise you'd
Yeah.
like another level of.
Oh yeah, they'd be
that's like-
sectioned. Like if I
Yeah.
was genuinely
Yeah, if you thought
I
you, that is the level above it.
Yeah.
But
And can it develop into that?
probably.
Is that like schizophrenia?
How much would it bother you if you hadn't
It's like when I went to. I'm probably talking on about this, but when I went to Knowsley Safari Park,
You have to keep checking the cage was closed for the lions.
Go on.
I thought I'd
Hit a
clipped a
monkey.
camel on the way out because it was stood.
You what?
I convinced me. I told you this, haven't I?
Clipped a camel on the way
I'd
out.
convinced myself. I'd knocked a camel was stood.
Oh, you have
I
told
told you this. A camel was stood right near the exit. You know, when you're trying to, and
Yeah.
like there was.
Letting you know it's there.
And I went past and it was fine. And about 5 minutes after I went past, I went, what have I hit the camel? And then I was working myself
Spend
up.
another
And then
50 quid
I went
to go
over
right
that.
through safari park. You go back again, yeah, you have to pay again, you know, yeah, it's 45 quid.
There's a camel on all fours.
They got the anxiety hour. I'll get them all. They're worth fucking thousands, these.
He's got someone on the exit going, hey, you know there's a camel on the way out. But the camel's just doing laps to the floor, laps to the exit.
Just shout over the thing and LL64 2TW, you've just clipped the zebra there. If you go around to make sure,
As they're going out, someone just sticks a little bit of fare on the side.
if you pass
on the
go,
side of the taxi. What's this?
I would have had him back. Well, I went home and I said to my boyfriend, and he was like, you haven't hit a camel.
Right.
And I was like, but I might have. He was like, yeah, if you'd hit a camel, you'd see it on the car. He said the car would be damaged if you did. And he was being dead sweet. Then he was like, then he just went, you haven't fucking hit a camel.
And then he just decked you.
But if you hit a camel, what?
Yeah, I think I've hit my wife.
You haven't.
Why'd you hit her? She thought she was a camel.
Shut up about this fucking camel. But like, what? You hit a camel, what like?
Well, so I spoke to my friend, one of my mates, who's got really bad anxiety. Well, I wasn't Barry, and he was like talking me through. Then he does all this, like what counsellors do, and they'll go, "Well, what's the worst thing that could happen?" And I'm like, "Well, I could go to jail." And he's like,
"Why? For hitting a camel?" Do you genuinely think you could go to jail for hitting a camel?
No. Well, you sort of go, you just sort of feel guilty, and then catastrophize it, and like. Oh no! Like
I've done the jail thing, thinking that I've done something that I'm going to go to jail for.
Well, that's because there's a girl in you.
Did you?
You got a girl buried in your back garden.
I think we've all got that anxiety that we've done something we go to jail for.
That's why I'm wearing suits and clearing.
He's prepping for that day.
But yeah, you know it's mad.
I do something every day that I can go to jail for, and I don't worry about going to jail.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you do every day you could go to prison for?
All sorts of things.
It's not just one thing.
Oh, yeah.
All right, okay.
I shoplift every day, Barry.
Okay.
Every day I shoplift.
Okay.
Why don't you shoplift some clothes?
Oof. That's a bit harsh.
I know, actually, sorry. I seen a joke that I thought they'd side with me.
His first time with his salmon shorts, and
These are decent shorts.
I know, I feel a bit bad because I thought they'd laugh, and then no one did. That's actually too far.
Yeah. You worry about that on your way home?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I might just get Robert Preston.
Can you cut it out? Can you cut out that bit about the shorts?
Yeah. I will.
You will?
Do you think Robert's actually all right?
Oh, I'm fine. I just don't worry about I just don't get it. I don't get because my
Why
wife's...
do you shoplift though?
What? Why do we shoplift? Because fuck
system,
them.
innit?
Fuck them, that's why.
Are you doing like news agents? Or are you doing like...
No, of course not. I'm not robbing families.
Corporations.
Like Tesco's and Asda. Yeah, they're fair game, I think.
Yeah, I always... Yeah. So like, if I ever...
Vegan over there.
Pine nuts or what?
Yeah, that's our new thing. No one who joins our patrons allowed to pay for pine nuts anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to nick pine nuts?
They're
like £6. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And they go so fast.
Have you seen Asda do sushi now? And that's too expensive. That's a big one everyone knows about. I nick sushi from Asda all the time.
No one would suspect you of nicking sushi as well. They're
exactly.
like, it's not.
But also, I like, you know the way there's like white privilege and like pretty privilege and that. I've got grok privilege.
Grok?
Yeah, just for being a fucking massive grok. I get away with shit. Like, I've never queue. I just bunk queues constantly. Never ever queue. And then.
What if you went to like Disney? You just walked.
I just walked to not the front. That's too bang on. About maybe a third of the way.
What are you looking all shifty-eyed for?
No, then because your mind definitely went the same place as mine there. It doesn't matter.
What, queued at Disney?
Yeah.
I didn't get it, but there's probably a disability joke or something there.
Pretty much.
So no one questions you. Just
yeah. I don't queue. And if someone says something, I go, it's happened now, isn't it? And then like, and if a shoplift something, I just stay the security guard down. just think, you're not going to stop me, are you? So.
Have you ever been pulled up by have you ever been caught?
Shoplifting? No.
There's someone we know wrote a guide to shoplifting.
Oh yeah, you can just say his name, Dave Longley.
Yeah, Longley wrote a guide to shoplifting. He had a tally. He had a tally on.
It was a joke. I didn't think he actually did it.
Me and him used to message the best ways to shoplift. I told him you're missing out by not internet shopping, because when you do internet shopping, they just refund everything.
Yeah.
Just say anything and they refund it.
Yeah, I got.
So we started doing that now.
So what you buy something off? Where are you buying stuff off it anywhere?
Just do an Asda shop online,
right?
And they say they send you like peppers,
but they don't with me. Right, this is the thing that annoys me. If I'd never complain, and I complained once to like Sainsbury's because they sent me like all my food was out of date on the day it arrived.
Yeah,
and I complained, and they just like give me like a penny off voucher or something.
Yeah, they give you vouchers for missing stuff. So don't bother with Sainsbury's.
Wrong one. Doing Sainsbury's then.
Asda
just refund it.
Yeah,
straight away.
So you say, it's like not right or whatever. And
free peppers. These are too. The out of date's too close. Refund. This smells a bit off. Refund. This never turned up. Refund.
It's a bit of an effort for me, that.
Yes.
You do it on the app. You don't even call anyone. You go on the app and go bang, bang, bang. Yeah, but that's because you got to accept cookies to have an app. Bang, bang, bang.
I don't accept
I was
cookies.
waiting for it
That's
again.
OCD. He's never accepted cookies.
Why don't you accept
Just
cookies?
fuck them knowing what I am.
Doesn't want to know. He licks his teeth 8 times before he does anything.
Do you put?
Unless it's like, look what Lucy Pinder looks like now. For fuck's sake, accept.
Oh mate, I'm a fucking sucker for them.
I hate it. I hate it every time I get done by him.
I am bad for clickbait.
I don't know what targeted ads.
I'm a little
so
goss
angry.
as well. I'm a little bitch and I love gossip. So I'm terrible for clickbait. Like, oh, you won't believe this Love Island series 2, why they split up. And you're like, I will. Let me know.
I
I
was
was-
free sushi.
Absolutely livid about one the other day. I can't remember what it was, but they got me fucking something good. I can't remember what it was, but I was furious. I accepted it for nothing.
It's weird when you clickbait and it's something you already know and you're like, I knew that already.
Oh, you could guess the end of it, and then you've gone, I know what this is going to be. And then you click accept, and you get there, and you've gone, fuck them. And I'm just so mad about it.
It's the buying things. It's the 50% off this now, and it's got like a timer on it. How long you've got? Like the shit I've got in my house.
Oh, really?
I've got a plasma ball in my office that if I turn on, it gives me a headache. It's the you know, one of those where you put your finger on and it all the.
What person in the right mind? I best get this in half an hour.
Yeah.
It was the world's smallest plasma ball. And
Barry, you know all them things at the time are on? They're on Amazon for that price anyway.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's like,
Not even a decent size of the world's small.
Yeah, it's really supposed to be about that big, and you put it on, and it'd be like, but it's there. And after a while, I'd get like fucking hell,
Your
my eyes
electric
go
bill must
funny.
be fucked.
I know.
I know.
I bought a 2 terabyte thumbnail drive.
You know what you want to buy? You know what you want to buy next? A generator for your house, because you need to go off grid. Because
What's a 2 terabyte thumbnail drive?
They said you'll never believe.
do you know what 2 terabytes is?
Big.
The big,
Yeah.
it was like the newest technology. We've got 2 terabytes
Did you
into
need
a
it?
thumbnail. Yeah,
Couple of Word
I
docs.
thought
The hard drive.
I thought I put loads of Xbox games on
hard
it
drives
and plug it
8
into my Xbox.
terabytes.
As soon as I plugged it in, the Xbox was like,
Exploded.
"The fuck is this? Format not recognised."
Loads of
straight
horrible
away.
legal things on it.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're not OCD. That's just going to be full of non-stuff.
Yeah.
I just plugged it in. It's just
Of a
tons
random-
of
Still love that story about Mike Wilkinson buying that phone off.
Buying the phone.
Yeah. That's so funny.
amazing.
Yeah.
Lads, do us a favour. Don't send anything dodgy in that group because just give me a chance to get a new phone. It's like it turned out he bought a phone off a paedophile.
Unbelievable.
You don't know what to do in that. Do you just give it back? Give it to the police? Because do the police believe you? What
What you don't do is tell Sam Harlan not to send you dodgy shit.
Yeah.
Because the amount of
Just
stuff
wipe it
there.
and start again, don't you? So, carry on.
Jeez.
Oh, well.
But yeah, I've stopped buying stuff now because it was.
Doesn't sound like it, you have.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'd buy things, but I'm going to use them, but in time because I've bought in bulk.
Tell them what you told me on the way up that you've just got recently about the clock.
Oh,
Just another edit point.
It's not, is it?
Yeah, no one's allowed to know he's got clocks in his house.
I was in a haunted location recently that's due to be renovated, completely gutted, and they said, if you say anything you want, if you want to take like a little souvenir of it, and they obviously meant like like a little trinket or something of its time as being this haunted place.
His grandfather.
I knocked it was a fucking massive clock. Like huge. Like I'd look at that, it cost a fortune in IKEA, and I thought, I'll have that. Put it in my car.
It's in a haunted place. Surely you're not going to be able to get it. IKEA.
Well, no.
Because it's an antique.
Did you think of that?
Cost a fortune in IKEA. It's like self-assembly, isn't it? Clock.
You ever heard about those haunted?
The clock's not haunted, but I'm now.
How
You
do
don't
you
know
know?
that? How do you know that?
Well, that's the thing that I was saying to you. I was worried that because then I had to drive to Leeds to do a cake, and I was like,
With the
fucking-
clock in your back.
Yeah, in the boot, and I was
and he
thinking,
died that
I was
night.
going to say you die in your ass.
Yeah, and if it started like, imagine if it just like
Making
started
ding.
ticking
Yeah.
as I was driving, and I was just like, oh,
No
fuck.
batteries.
So I've got it now, and
And the girl's holding it from the door.
Yeah.
but it's just it's too big for my house.
So if you want one for your
Fucking,
wall,
it'd look great in here.
Well,
It's about the width of that telly.
Jesus, that is quite a big clock.
Maybe when we get our own studio, we can go just have a haunted clock.
Yeah, we'll have that.
haunted clock.
We'll have that. Use it to
Fucking
time
hell,
the pods
Barry.
on.
I feel like I should have got me when you offered to send me beers. Now I should have said yes, He offered to send me some beers, and I was like,
yeah, because I bought them in bulk.
I know. Well, I didn't know you were a psychopath, did I? I just thought you were fine. And then I thought you'd bought like 48 beers for yourself, and you were going to send me some, and I thought, no, because one, you're not going to send me enough to get pissed on if you've only bought like 48 for yourself. So I don't want to have a couple of beers and go, that was nice.
Beers that went out of date in 2016 if you want them.
Yeah, that was nice, but now I'm not pissed.
Why did you say no to the beers?
And then also didn't want to pay postage and packaging to send me something. It was a nice.
Put that as an expense.
That was a nice gesture, and it would have been fine. But I just thought, no, there's no need to put Barry out. I can just buy them myself. But now I know you can left, right, and centre just spending loads of money on.
Not loads of money,
shite.
Small amounts on big amounts.
Small amounts.
I've got a plasma ball. Yes.
Whenever he wants a headache. Yeah.
Writing it off.
He's telling jokes about
plasma ball, but it's fire.
I've got two at the minute. I've got 2 slabs of pre-made mojito drinks that went out of date in 2017.
And what are you going to do with them?
I've got to give them to the neighbours or something.
What? So hold on. So, do you think they're fine? You're not getting
just alcohol in it.
You know,
alcohol doesn't go off.
But other stuff in mojito besides some alcohol, you know.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
So do you get OCD about that?
Touch it, then you know you shouldn't be touching it.
If what?
Do you not get OCD about dates? Oh, I'd have it fine.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's something my wife gets. Something my wife gets OCD about is dates.
Yeah, dates
and
on
I
meat.
absolutely do not give a fuck.
I'm like that. My partner's always like, it doesn't matter. Like it's just a guide. But I'm like, no, you need to get rid of it.
It's not a guide.
I always say to her, if the bread was mouldy before the date, would you still eat it? She goes, no, of course not. Like, well then why you're asked that it's one day out of date? Anything out of date. Weirdly, she's fine with veg, which I think is weird. That's the one thing you would be more. That's the thing that moulds more than meat. But like any meat out of date, she will not touch.
I agree. Meats.
Yeah, you wouldn't though, would you?
You can die.
Yeah.
That can kill you.
No, it can kill you with worry. It would make you sick with worry. I will just have the shits for a bit and then be fine.
I don't
How
think...
delightful. How lovely.
I get the feeling we're coming to the end.
You, Mr. Darcy.
I don't know. Actually, I'll tell this story before we go. So, my dad's obviously the same as me. He'd eat anything, anytime, just not worry about it. He once had a curry that had been in his boot for 5 days. In the boot of his car for 5 days, and it saved his life. He ate a 5-day-old curry out the back of his car. It'd been in his boot for 5 days. He ate it, give himself food poisoning, made himself so sick.
He couldn't go to work.
No, made himself so sick. Like,
and that was
ever.
No.
And that was on the 10th of September.
He had shits and throwing up, and it was thrown up so badly that he smacked his head in the toilet, give himself concussion. Had to go to the hospital with concussion. So the hospital went, right, you got concussion. Did all X-rays. Found out from the X-rays he'd had an aneurysm, and that it hadn't damaged him. It like cured itself. Had loads of dry blood on his brain. Like not all aneurysms kill you. Some of them can. Some of them are minor. And then they said, but we can see you're gonna have a big one. So give him a stint, and then it saved his life. That like the second aneurysm that he could have had could have killed him. But the first, all from eating 5-day-old curry and giving himself food poisoning.
There you go, guys. So you know what to do now.
Butterfly effect.
So Barry's got 100 curries if anyone wants one.
Anyone wants to put one in your boot
Stick
for
your
5
curry
days?
in the boot for 9 years, eat it, and you'll be cured of cancer.
But she's smart. He 5-day-old curry, give himself food.
The witch doctor from Bootle. What you want to do, lads? You want to get yourself a chicken boot and stick her in the loft for 2 years, lad? You eat that, you'll never get cancer.
Don't have paracetamol, that'll make you sick. Get yourself a chicken booner. Yeah. I don't know if I've mentioned that in the pod. The reason I don't have paracetamol either.
Do you know?
Because my dad said that it weakens your immune system.
No, it does.
When I was like 6.
And also, if you shoplift that, it's usually security protected.
Yeah. I do lift paracetamol every now and then. Slip it in the pocket, forget it's there. Oh.
Yeah, paracetamol's so cheap anyway, though.
No, but I get Panadol in it, you know what I mean?
It's the same. It's all the same anyway.
£3.35, bro.
Have you not seen Martin Lewis? Have you got the same code
like Oliver.
You know that thing I took, that thing I shoplifted once.
What?
Once? You shoplifted one thing once?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
IKEA.
Ooh.
I'll tell you.
One of those blue bags?
No,
I've
I'll tell
shoplifted
you
loads of
What,
times.
you got yourself a garden
What, are you scared you're going to get found out?
Gonna come
This
to
is
the
one of the. This is a
Come
joke.
and take it apart and take it back.
Come on, was it a big thing you just left on the thing? And
It's a comedy podcast. You can just
Got a wardrobe.
yeah,
I got a
flat
wardrobe.
pack, self-serve. Just didn't scan it.
Just didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I actually.
Every time I go to
didn't
IKEA.
beep it back in because it was one of the ones where it's in 2 packs.
Yeah,
So it didn't
scanned
go
one part, didn't scan the other part.
Yeah. But it was an accident.
that's the thing. Because you thought you convinced yourself you had just done absolutely nothing. There's no suspicion, so you get away.
Barry, you're worried about that. I'll admit now. Every time I go to IKEA, I do something like that.
But I knew that
every
I'd done
time.
it
Come
when I
get
got
me.
home.
Meatballs.
He's just eating them as he's walking out.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to do that on the supermarket as well. Just open a bag of crisps, start eating it.
No one's going to
While you doing your big shop, and then just fucking throw the packet away.
If he doesn't eat these, he won't get round the big shop. So these are actually medicinal discos.
He'll spend more. If you just let him eat them, he'll spend more than the pound a
We
week.
know he's been robbing sushi for 5 years. We just let him have it because we think he might die on the way
I
around.
just feel like the security guard's on some minimum wage and you're there just crunching crisps.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
gonna go,
exactly.
"You know what?"
That's why he's not going to bother.
Yeah.
It's like I, every time I go to the shop and buy beers, if I'm buying like 4 or 5,
Cracking them open as you leave.
Don't tell a woman free. Yeah, 3 of them. Then.
That's some lazy cashiering, to be honest with you. If you there's 5 crates and they've accepted 3, I'd have been like, well, fuck that idiot on the cashier.
You just put one on. You put one on the belt and tell her I've got 3 of them in the trolley, and she puts 3 through, and then she get 2 for free.
Yeah, because she's intimidated by you.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
then what
Rock
happens then
privilege.
is if they call you out on it and you just like a fucking gimp.
I just go, oh, sorry, I miscounted.
And then they just lean over and go, I miscounted, but I can't count to 4.
As he's spitting discos into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
face.
yeah.
Do you know what Longley got caught with? Because Longley's days did come, his shoplifting days did come to an end when he got caught and got banned from the Tesco's. Right.
My nan's banned from Tesco's, bro.
Same
Legs of
reason.
lamb.
Legs of lamb. Do you know what Longley got done with?
Go on.
A salmon.
A salmon.
Right.
A salmon and a fucking big jar of coffee.
But why would they fucking do it? Why would they?
They'd been watching him on the cameras and
Right, yeah.
obviously
What, for
Trying to put
years?
salmon down the pants. Just
They're on the
they knew they'd seen him do it and it was like, well, wait till next time.
Right.
So he's on his way out with this fucking fish dead.
I can't
don't know
touch
what-
anything. I feel guilty enough when I haven't took anything. No, when you walk out and I think,
Yeah.
I feel like I've
You
took
feel like
something
you've
when I haven't.
shoplifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you never get? No, you don't. There's no point asking him. Do you ever get guilt?
I don't
About
think
what though? Like,
the shoplifting
why would you ask what
thing
stealing from Master? Why does it bother you?
a problem.
You what?
Why would it bother you about stealing from Master?
I just don't think it's right to do, is it?
The billionaires.
No, but-
Tesco put short tags on baby milk. Once
Oh,
They
yeah,
put
I don't
what?
agree with
no,
that.
not Tesco. As they put short tags on baby milk. Once I saw that, I didn't give a fuck whatever.
Shortage tags.
Security tags.
so they can't pinch.
So
the
no one
baby
can.
milk.
So it goes off if you try and nick it.
So
baby
if
milk. On baby
oh
powder.
yeah, fuck them. Yeah,
So
yeah.
fuck them.
Yeah,
Fuck them.
I'm on board with that. If you're at the point where you've got to steal baby milk, then,
Exactly,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
going to put secure. If you know people are that desperate, you're going to put secure. Fuck,
Yeah,
fuck,
I agree.
Fuck them.
Yeah, but you're not. It's not like you're Robin Hood and you're stealing and giving baby milk out.
No,
to
but they're still
kids.
billionaires.
You're stealing sushi for yourself.
Why do you even fuck about billionaire? Though?
Yeah.
Why do you even fuck about a billionaire?
Bougie lifestyle.
Do you think? Do you think that as this cheap because good things are happening?
Well, I don't know. There's some quite good deals at the minute. They've got those egg
Yeah,
chairs.
and it's
for
always
40
someone's getting fucked over, aren't they?
quid. You probably roll out in one of those egg chairs, eating your crisps.
I always steal firewood as well.
But you look like you should be carrying firewood anyway. Don't you? It's like,
No, because if you're
Do
gonna
you
put
have yourself on the way out? Just grab a bag. Fucking hell. Oh, because the security guard usually
you're
he's
past it,
inside.
yeah,
you're
past them.
do you know what you're like? You're like the sticky bandits in Home Alone. We're just like that, taking what's near.
I called it a bravery discount. When you have some, just go, yeah, got that on bravery discount.
They have an honesty thing. You're like, yeah, I'm not honest. Nice one. I like shops, corporations. I don't give a fuck about. The billionaires, someone's getting screwed over, so I might as well screw them back.
What a way to end this.
Who says it's ending, Barry?
Me.
Staying in.
Barry's scared of getting like a
Worried I've not locked the door and want to get back before
Barry
it
wants
gets
to
dark.
fuck off before I drive
what's weird
home.
about these cameras? One of them picks up that and the other one doesn't. That's
Yeah.
weird. I need
What?
to show you a photo of
That could be a
that.
ghost.
One of them
So
picks
one of the
up what?
cameras will see another one, and one of
the
them will
other
just have a
camera
black
won't.
screen.
Is that because Rob's blocking it though?
Probably, yeah.
I just
Probably
look cruel
something
again
about
now, don't I?
Yeah. You're really misjudging your
I'm really
job.
sorry, Rob. Apologise.
All right. Right. So what is this podcast you've got going on?
It's going to be me and Hayley talking about
whether we've locked the door.
Whether we've locked the door.
Me and Hayley from our own house going, I can't leave because I haven't locked the door. It's a Zoom thing.
That's basically what it is, isn't it?
It's going to be us chatting. It's not a mental health podcast or anything like that. It's us talking.
Just a mental podcast.
Yeah, it's just
talking. Get Simon on.
Simon, so can you show us you licking your teeth?
It's just the thing is, we know that it's ridiculous. So it's just talking about the ridiculousness of it. And it's one of those podcasts as well where we're not staying on theme. Like the one that we recorded, we ended up telling stories and things like that. So it's going to be random, but it'll always come back to whatever the point was. It's called The Warriors.
When's it out?
How are you spelling Warriors?
Don't make me worry about this now. How do you spell Warriors? WORRIES, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be out later in the year.
IER.
We've recorded some, but we're not going to do it where it's like this, where it's just like a rolling one that keeps coming out. We're going to record like a series of them and then put them out like that. It's just an experiment, just to see how it goes.
Quality control, I like it, Barry.
See what it's done.
See how
12 hours a season, that's enough. With 80 hours a week.
You're shells of your former selves.
People quote what they heard in the pod. I'm like, what are you on about?
Yeah, that is so funny. We record it like 5 or 6 weeks in advance, and people will be like, "Oh, it was so funny."
Is this way in advance?
So about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I wanted to plug something.
What do you
Never
want to
mind.
plug? I can put it out quickly if you want.
I thought it might be out sort of next week. It's
Selling
do you know what you
wardrobe.
can do? if you can do me a retweet or something next week. Basically, a friend of mine, he's got a single out this Friday.
Oh no, fuck! I'm not doing anything for friends.
Oh, it's called Prince Andrew's a Sweaty Nonce.
Right, okay.
See, now he's in.
I'm well in, yeah.
It's Cunt from Cunt and the
Oh
Gang.
yeah.
And basically YouTube have shut him down and they're trying everything to not because he's got Boris Johnson as a fucking cunt to number 5 in the Christmas charts 2 years running.
Yeah.
And now he's got no Christmas competition, so he's like, let's do Prince Andrew on the
When's it
Jubilee.
coming out? On the Jubilee.
It comes out this Friday.
And there's where Lab Baby brings out the Jubilee specials.
Exactly. That genuinely is a thing that could happen. Is that because honestly, the underhand tactics.
Have you seen a thing that they've been with Uncle Tom? What's his name? Grandad Tom. Captain Tom. There's like they wheel out this new Captain Tom
singing "Go West."
Go West.
The worst thing you've ever seen in your life.
Bootlicking gang of get a grip.
Got him doing it because he's dead.
No, like a fucking new captain. Just another old soldier.
You killed him. You knocked him over on his 100th lap.
In his lap. Oh, don't.
Think we'd end on a Captain Tom gag.
Right. The Warriors, check it out. What's your socials?
At Hales_Ellis on everything.
Are you on tour?
Yeah.
Will this be out for the tour? When's
When
your
does
tour?
the tour finish?
I don't know. Come to any London watches. My tickets are bad for London. I paid 35
Sell
quid.
the tour, Hayley. Sell.
No, everywhere else is selling out, but I paid 35 quid for Nasty Nick from EastEnders to plug it. Not sold one off the back of it. So if you know anyone in London...
When you're on in London?
I'll come you in, no. 30th of August.
30th of August, go see Hayley Ellis in London. There's people who watch this in London. There's a couple of people message us going when he's on in London, and we go, we're not telling you.
Yeah, but they expect you and they have me. It's very different.
We'll go see Hayley and we'll support her by
Done all the sport for
not being
Milliken and everything.
What?
Done all the sport for Milliken and everything. Flying with it.
She's sound. I mean, she might not turn up to the gig.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me,
halfway
Dan.
down the M6, someone might tell her that.
Might be a late starter, like Justin Bieber, turning up all cool and late.
Whatever you
Keeping you waiting
do,
on a
don't go on your
night.
bike. Do not cycle to the fucking gig. Because you're in there waiting for her. She's doing laps thinking, where the fuck's she gone? Right, Barry, what's your socials?
At Barry.
Mike.
Get OCD about something.
Sorry. I'm just...
It just keeps...
You can go to prison for bad mic form.
Right, just go at Barry_Dodds. Yeah.
At Barry_Dodds.
I'm bad at promotion.
Sound.
Would you want any chocolate?